o'clock hour. Nate Taylor of ESPN will be in studio. We'll take your questions. We'll take your phone. The Chiefs and the Giants. Again, my name is Carrington Harrison. Rob Britton is here producing this thing, taking you up until 5:30 today. Before we dive into the opening topic in today's show, I want to let you guys know that the injury report is out for the Kansas City Chiefs. Xavier Worthy, he is listed as questionable for the game. The same thing with Jalen Royals. We saw a report earlier in the week from friend of the show, Nate Taylor, that Xavier Worthy is going to play in the game. I trust that report. I believe that report. He practiced last week. He practiced all of this week. In the midst of everything that's happened with Xavier Worthy, he has only missed one practice. I believe they are going to figure out a way to stabilize his shoulder. I do believe that he is going to play on Sunday against the New York Giants. Jalen Royals is a completely different beast. He hasn't been practicing the way that Xavier Worthy has been practicing. Worthy finished up training camp, finished up preseason, played in the first game, at least got ready for the first game. So I think we're talking about two very different timetables. I would play Jalen Royals if I was the Kansas City Chiefs, just because I think you need all hands on deck, but we'll see how the Chiefs play it in preparation for Sunday Night Football. All right, we'll get into the open here in just a bit, but let me remind you of a couple of things. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. Number two, I need you to be sure to tell one friend to check out the show. I mean, if you told two people to check out the show, I mean, I'd appreciate it, but you know what? Beggars can't be choosers. If you could just tell one person to check out the show, I would appreciate it. And number three, and this might be the most important thing of all, be sure to stop by the other place with 5 area locations. Stop by and get yourself a great meal. They got fantastic drink specials. They got Red Friday specials. If you want to watch a little college football this weekend, a little pro football this weekend, look no further than our friends over at the other place. So Rob and I have kind of held off on this topic, and now is the time to do it. I want to give you guys the 0-2 stats of what it means to lose your first 2 games in the NFL season, and at least give you a picture of at least why I'm not worried about this. Maybe you're worried about this. Maybe other hosts have been worried about this. I can only give you the sample size of it and why it does not bother me that the Chiefs have finished 0-2. So if you start out the season 0-2, since 1990, only 12% of those teams have made the postseason. That has been 35 teams out of 288. Only 3 teams since 1990 have started out 0-2 and still won the Super Bowl. It was the Cowboys in 1993. They had a big asterisk by it. If you remember, Emmitt Smith held out those first 2 games. They then fixed the holdout. He then came back, and they went back to being the Cowboys. The 2001 Patriots and the 2007 Giants. That might be the most unique team in the history of the National Football League. Now, if you were saying, well, they've expanded the playoffs since 1990, those stats don't count. Well, if you look at it in the 5 seasons since the expanded playoffs, the percentage is the exact same, 12.2. There have been 41 teams that have started 0-2 since they expanded the playoffs. 5 of those teams have made the playoffs. Now, this is what I think is very important. 3 teams last season did this. There were 3 teams last year that started 0-2 and still turned it around to make the postseason. The Baltimore Ravens started 0-2 last year. They were one of the 5 best teams in the NFL at the end of the season. The Denver Broncos, who turned things around and grabbed one of those wild card spots, and the Los Angeles Rams that played a very competitive game against the Philadelphia Eagles and lost on the road and had a chance to potentially compete and win their division. So I think what we are talking about here is it is all a matter of perspective. There have been an 0-2 team in each of the last 3 seasons that have been able to turn things around and make the postseason. So I've been telling you guys this week, I have not pressed the panic button. I don't think there's reason to press the panic button right now, just yet, when discussing this team. I will press the panic button if they lose this upcoming game. There haven't been many games in Patrick Mahomes' career in which they have lost to a team that I perceive the Giants to be. I think if you were looking at the Giants' schedule, if you want to just look ahead for just a little bit, I think the Giants are on the fast track to disaster. They play Kansas City and the Chargers in back-to-back weeks. Now they get a gimme game against the New Orleans Saints. We'll see if it's a gimme. It's on the road. The Giants aren't good enough, I think, to consider any game to be a gimme. They got Philadelphia and Denver in back-to-back weeks. And, oh, yeah, they then turn around and play Philadelphia again on the road and San Francisco. So I think that we could be looking at a scenario in which the Giants look up and we are at the midpoint of the season and the Giants are 2-7, potentially 1-8, likely firing their head coach maybe in season or at the end of the season, removing Russell Wilson as their starting quarterback and moving on to Jackson Dart and starting a new fresh regime with a new coach and a new quarterback. My biggest point today is help them get there. Do not allow the Giants to feel good about themselves. They got dominated in week 1. They lost a heartbreaker last Sunday in which they played really well. They scored 37 points. They just made one too many mistakes late, and they lost that game. The Giants are not a good football team. Keep them there. This is a team in which you should be able to run the football against them. You should be able to outcoach them, out-quarterback them, and just quite simply outclass them. If you look at Patrick Mahomes' career as the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, they probably only have one of these kinds of losses on their schedule. If we are removing a divisional game, because we all know that those games are different. The only game that I think we're talking about is we're talking about when the Chiefs lost to the Indianapolis Colts. You guys remember that game? The Chiefs went on the road to the Colts. They lost that game 19-13. Marlon Mack ran all over the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs had a chance to take the ball away from the Colts at the end of the game. Chris Jones gets that phantom. Still don't know why they called a penalty on him. The Colts were then able to run out the rest of the clock, and the Colts went on to upset the Kansas City Chiefs. They haven't been upset too many times. They have been defeated. There have not been a lot of instances over the last 5-6 years or so where you could say that a team just outright upset the Kansas City Chiefs. That's what this will be. There is no shame in losing to the Chargers. I know we like to joke, and there's no shame in losing to the Chargers at a neutral site. There is no shame in losing to the Philadelphia Eagles, who have won 18 of their last 19 games. And the one game that they lost, Jalen Hurts got hurt in the first quarter of the game. There's no shame in losing to that team. There is shame in losing to the New York Giants. There is shame in losing to a team that I think is going to start 1-8, 2-8, and is a team that looks like they're going to select in the top 5 and basically press a hard reset on their organization. There is shame in starting 0-3 when the football gods gave you a gift in week 3 to potentially help turn things around. And if the Chiefs lose this game, then I'm telling you it is quite possible that they could lose any game on their schedule. Obviously, they're not going to lose every game on their schedule, but if this isn't one that you can put in your bag as a W, then it opens up the possibility of anything. You can lose to Jacksonville. You could lose at home to the Raiders. You could lose to the Titans later in the season. You could lose to the Colts later on in the season. It opens up a possibility that you could be knocked off by anybody. So I've told you guys, my message this week is very simple. I do not care about style points. I do not care about margin of victory. I don't care the how. Just get it done. You don't have to tell me what you did to accomplish the mission. Just you got to accomplish this mission. There is no reason for the New York Giants to be a roadblock in what Kansas City is trying to accomplish as a team in the micro and the macro. In the micro, it's get back to 500. It's get healthy. It's get back on that right track and start playing like a championship level team. In the macro, it's win divisions, win championships, compete for championships. You cannot allow the New York Giants to be a team that moves you off that path and moves you off that course. So I promise you right here, text line 913-586-7965, you have every right. If I am complaining about how the Chiefs won on Monday, hold me accountable. I hold you guys accountable. You will not hear any of that complaining from me on Monday. With the way the Chiefs have played so far, with their schedule, with the injuries that they have had so far this season, it is just quite simply get a dub, get a win, feel good, start playing better football, start moving in the right direction. Let's move on from the New York Giants because obviously the Chiefs have much bigger fish to fry. You got a 325 game coming up in 9 games in Kansas City going up against the Baltimore Ravens, who could be one of the best teams in football. The Lions are coming into town. The Raiders look like they're a little bit better team. You just have far bigger obstacles than the New York Giants. Please do not let them trip you up. Coming up in the 3 o'clock hour, we're going to be joined by Sean Marash. Nate Taylor's going to be on the show today. We got you covered for Sunday Night Football. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with CDOT. Tune in as Nate Taylor of ESPN joins the show in studio every Friday at 4 on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. The Drive, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Well, summer is winding down, and maybe you notice something. You're a little more tired than usual. Your workouts, they're just not giving you that same result. You're not sleeping well. You're foggy. Your sex drive basically gone at this point. Well, here's the truth. It might not just be stress or getting older. It could be low testosterone. And if it is, there's a positive. Heartland Men's Health can help you. They have helped hundreds of men right here in the Kansas City area feel like themselves again with increased energy, better thinking, better sleep, stronger workouts, and your sex drive, it's back. Getting tested is fast and easy. Take the 2-minute low T quiz at heartlandmenshealth.com and schedule a $99 consult, which includes lab work, a full medical review, and a plan that works for you. And you start treatment that day. And if it doesn't work, then your visit is on the house. Don't wait another year. Don't wait another month. Don't wait another day. Let's get back to you feeling like you. Pick up the phone and call this number, 844-447-6600, or check out the website, heartlandmenshealth.com today. Heartland Men's Health, real results, real men, real fast.
Ready, Set, Ford. That's what Shawnee Mission Ford is all about, bringing meaning to Ready, Set, Ford. Hey, it's Gold. You know I've been driving a new vehicle thanks to my friends over at Shawnee Mission Ford for over a month now, and they offer their customers the largest discounts on every new vehicle, along with aggressive rebates and top trade-in value. And maybe you're looking for a pre-owned vehicle. You're in luck as well with over 100 pre-owned vehicles to choose from at prices and terms well within any budget. Shawnee Mission Ford is on a mission to do more.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and it's time to make a big deal out of nothing. Announcing Lee Summit Subaru's 0% event. Up to 0% financing on select 2025 Subaru models for 72 months. And we have the largest selection of Subaru certified vehicles in Kansas City, starting as low as 1.9% for 72 months.
0% event and a lifetime warranty. Fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru.
Based on January 2025 through June 2025 Kansas City inventory listings.
Hi, I'm Sam Silvio with M. Shamus Brazilian Grill in the village of Burlington Creek. Holidays will be here before you know it, and M. Shamus is ready to get a jingle from you. From our all-you-can-eat hot and cold gourmet salad bar to our 12 cuts of beef, lamb, pork, or chicken. Go to mshamus.com to order our famous Brazilian glazed holiday hams in advance, or set a holiday party date for a table of 1 to a party of 100. Go to mshamus.com and discover the joy of dining.
Fall is the season for reinvention, and it's easy to do at Macy's Fall Favorite Sale. Come in and find your new favorite styles, like romantic ruffled dresses, chic trenches, cashmere sweaters, and textural fall layers, which are perfect for mixing and matching. All for 20 to 50% off. So if you're looking for your new favorite things, look no further than the Fall Favorite Sale. Today, only at Macy's. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
It's time to build that dream deck over at All Weather Decks. Schedule a free estimate today at 913-206-1974 or online at allweatherdecks.net. All Weather Decks, the right deck at the right price.
Bud Light and Tanners are teaming up to make every college game day legendary. Every Saturday, rep your college team, catch every play, and enjoy $15 buckets. Only at Kansas area Tanners locations. Bud Light and Tanners. From the stands to the bar, your game day headquarters.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
I'm Jenna Fisher.
And I'm Angela Kinsey.
And together we have the podcast Office Ladies.
Just because we finished rewatching The Office does not mean we're going anywhere.
Every Wednesday, we'll be sharing even more exclusive stories from The Office and our friendship with brand new guests. Plus, you can revisit all the Office Ladies rewatch episodes every Monday with new bonus tidbits before every episode.
So follow and listen to Office Ladies on the free Odyssey app and wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Hey, it's Juju Smith-Schuster from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back into the show. My name is Carrington Harrison. Very happy to be here with you on this wonderful, wonderful Friday. Coming up in about 30 minutes or so, we're going to take a look at the college football slate this weekend. Both Rob and I are going in opposite directions. Rob is heading to Lawrence, Kansas for their game, and I'm headed to Columbia. Missouri hosts South Carolina this weekend, and Kansas hosts West Virginia. We'll take a closer look at those two games. Does K-State play anybody? Do they have a bye week? They're off this week. That's good. I mean, that's... If there's any team right now that just needed a weekend of self-reflection, maybe a team bonding activity, do they have the cider mills open? Can they go on a corn maze? Because K-State needs all of the fall team-building activities to get them back on track. So good luck to the Kansas State Wildcats. I at least say good luck to them. Rob has not been saying good luck to them. He has been kicking their back in at every single given opportunity. So I hope that the K-State Wildcats have a great weekend. So this is how we started today's show. If you look since 1990, 12% of teams that start off 0-2 make the postseason. If you want to look at just since the playoffs have been expanded, that percentage doesn't change. 41 teams have started 0-2. 5 of those teams have made the postseason. Now, what I think should be encouraging to you as a Chiefs fan, 3 teams did this last year, the Ravens, Broncos, and the Rams. The Ravens won their division. The Rams won their division. The Broncos won double-digit games last season. So that is something to note. It has happened in each of the last 3 seasons. So I'm not panicked. I am not worried. I don't think that you should feel either of those emotions. But I do feel like this is a must-win game. The Chiefs have not had to play with a sense of urgency in the regular season. That is what getting off to hot starts and winning 15 games like they did last year, that is what that affords you. They have to play with that urgency because the last thing that you want to do is you get down 10-0, you allow that New York crowd to get into it, you allow the Giants to feel good about themselves, like they could pull off this potential upset, and next thing you know, you have already dug yourself in a little bit of a hole. You do that again for this game, and next thing you know, you just continue to compound mistakes, and you create a situation that you possibly can't get yourself out of. So I don't care about style points. This is not the BCS. There is no college football ranking poll that you need to worry about. The Chiefs just quite simply need to score more points on Sunday than the New York Giants. That's all that matters to me in this one. You got to get that first W on the board.
So I see where you're coming from, and I don't necessarily totally disagree, but we see it a little different. If it is a ho-hum win, the Chiefs are in control all night, kind of like I felt like the Bills. I know the game got tight, but they won last night against the Dolphins. 10-point game. You're not sweating it with 2 minutes to go. It's not fingernail chewing. You feel like you were the superior team all day. I will agree with you. But for me, and I'll use an example of a game last year of what I do not want to see on Sunday. If this feels like Chiefs and Panthers did last year, I will be mad on Monday. If this is Harrison Butker needs a game-winning field goal because your defense gave up a late drive to Russ, who was cooking your defense, and you couldn't get pass rush, and you felt like, all right, it's a win in the NFL, and that's exciting, but you needed every minute of the game or even overtime to do it, I will feel a little bit of a way because, and we have stat on stat for today's show, the Giants are an inferior team to you. It is that simple. You are better than them. I know it's the NFL and any given Sunday and it's their home opener, blah, blah, blah. If this is a game where you need a game-winning Butker field goal or like a 4th and 7 stop and they're at the Chiefs 40 and they just don't have the kicker to make a big kick and it's woo-saw and win, I'm going to feel a little bit of a way that it goes that way. So do not let this year's Giant game be last year's Panther game is my only point.
I hear what you're saying, and I think that that's a pretty good point. I won't fight you too hard on it. I guess where I would maybe push back and give you a little bit of resistance is, do the Chiefs have the offense to not have one of those games? Because so far this season, the Chiefs have scored 21 points and 17 points. So if this is going to be another low-scoring potential game in which your defense would be asked to pull you out of the fire, that's just the kind of game that you were talking about. The Giants have enough on offense to score 14 points or 17 points in this game. If the Chiefs continue to not be able to get pressure with their front four and you allow Russ a couple of opportunities to hit some deep shots like he did against the Cowboys last week and they connect with those, then Wan'Dale Robinson can have a decent game. Malik Neighbors is a top 5-ish wide receiver, could end up having a good game, and the Giants could get to 14 or 17. I think what you were talking about, at least right now, while the Chiefs' offense is a little bit banged up, and we'll obviously see what happens with Xavier Worthy is, what's the highest number of points you could see Kansas City scoring in this? Now, maybe you're thinking, well, I just saw the Giants' defense leak like a sieve last week, so I think Kansas City's offense is going to score. I'm just not banking on that right now. I don't know if their offense has the pieces to be able to go out there and put up a 27-31 spot. So if this is going to be a game in which Kansas City scores 21 points, that game's probably unnecessarily comfortable in the final 15 minutes because you don't have the offense to run away from anybody.
I actually feel exactly how you said. I feel like the Chiefs receiver room and their weaponry is getting healthy, or they're healthy-ish. They're as healthy as it can be. Rashee Rice is suspended. You can't undo that. Xavier Worthy is going to play. He was a full participant in practice. He's going to play. We've talked all week about what can you expect from Jalen Royals. I expect him to play. Tyquan Thornton, I know people think I dislike him. I just think he's a fine wide receiver type of 3. That's a player that you can rely on, though, in that offense. And I think Travis Kelce is due for a bounce-back game because he's had 2 games where he hasn't been himself, so to speak. And against a bad Giant defense, I think you can get to 27, 28, maybe even 30 since that defense leaks like a sieve. I don't think the weaponry is just so bad on Sunday that you got to kind of grind out a style points don't matter game. I think you can put some points on the board. So a little part of me does not want this to look like Brazil where it was a little bit back and forth. No. This should be 27-17. 24-10 type of energy, and the Chiefs have the weaponry to get to 24-27, in my opinion, despite their shortcomings so far.
Yeah, I think if that's going to need to be the case, the Chiefs are going to have to make a big play either on defense or special teams. Like, they need their defense to create a short field for them. They need their defense or their special team, especially now with the new kickoff rules. You need Nico Remigio to get you the ball where the drive starts at the 50-yard line, so you don't have a long way to go. Or the Chiefs force a sack fumble deep in Giants territory that you put the ball right up there on a tee. I think one of the problems you've seen for the Chiefs offense, given that their defense hasn't forced a turnover so far, is you're asking this defense to go 80, 75 yards each drive. I just don't think they're built to do that right now. One holding call, one penalty, one drop pass, one mistake has really been crippling to this team. I think this is where you're going to need to give the offense a little bit of a boost. You're going to need to kind of create that defensive score, that defensive big play that flips field position. You're going to need that big special teams play. I think the Chiefs offense needs a little bit of a push and a little bit of a help to get to 27, or they're going to have to play nearly mistake-free football. You can't lose the turnover differential like you did last week to Philadelphia.
See, I think that spark, that big play on defense, or special teams you're talking about, I think they can get that from Xavier Worthy being back. Because the prevailing thought was in Brazil, hey, their game plan got tossed out the window because in 3 plays, their most dynamic playmaker was out. Okay? Fine. I understand the logic. Week 2, you didn't have Rashee Rice. You didn't have that dynamic playmaker in Xavier Worthy. The offense was going to be dink and dunk just because they don't have the Jimmies and Joes. The Chiefs, everything coming out of One Arrowhead Drive is Xavier Worthy is, as healthy as an NFL player can be, ready to go. He's going to play full participant practice. So you have now some weaponry. You have now a guy that can take the top off the defense. You have a guy that can give you a spark. You have the it factor that you've told me you've been missing the last 2 weeks. So I think that spark, that we're not going to just 18 plays, 75 yards, 9 minutes touchdown, that you've been missing is back on the field this week. So I think maybe you can hit an explosive play or two, which will then inherently bump up the amount of scoring you do. I think this, where we differ on this game, boils down to this: what value Xavier Worthy holds. I think he's a big explosive weapon, and the Chiefs can use that. I think you are worried that he's not at 100%, and the offense is going to look like it did in week 1 and 2, which I think is fair. We just see it differently.
Yeah, I guess maybe where we're a little bit off, and I don't think we're that far, is I agree with you that I think Xavier Worthy is all of those things. They had Xavier Worthy all of last year. They still were the 17th ranked offense in the National Football League. They is certainly an improvement. I think their offense has a little bit more issues than just, hey, you get Xavier Worthy back, and it's going to be able to clear up some of the other issues that we've seen. We'll get back to that here in just a bit. I want to ask you guys this question. Do you guys have a friend who is a really funny guy, but sometimes he just takes the joke a little bit too far? Or maybe you got a friend that will over-explain. It's like, man, I got it. Too much of anything is a bad thing. Excess sometimes can be a negative for you. This is why I bring all this up. Josh Allen is playing at an incredible level. And even though it pains me to say this, I think it's kind of difficult to acknowledge it right now. Even though I believe Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the National Football League, I don't think he is playing the best of any quarterback in the National Football League. I think that's Josh Allen. Maybe, just maybe, Bill Simmons had a point this summer. Remember, Bill Simmons put Josh Allen number 1 on his list. And his argument is, hey, I understand all the postseason stuff, but if you were talking about the way they play the position right now, who is going out there and excelling on a week-by-week basis, I think Josh Allen's the best quarterback in the league. And I'm thinking, all right, I disagree with you, but I see where you're coming from. As I watched the little bit of Thursday Night Football, and we've seen Josh Allen over the last, 18 games or so, it's kind of hard to argue that anybody is playing the position much better than he's playing it. He has been exceptional. He was a MVP candidate last year. I still think Lamar should have won it, and I think Lamar had a better regular season than him, but I'm not mad that Josh Allen won MVP. He's one of the 3 best players in the National Football League. But I don't know why they always got to take it just a step too far. You always get somebody like me to give Josh Allen his credit and give him his props. He's phenomenal. I think he's the 2nd best quarterback in the world. But somebody, and I mean it's always somebody, they always just got to take it to a place that it doesn't need to go.
I'm watching the game last night. I've been watching this sport 50 years. And I'm just a fan. I'm just a reporter, whatever the case is. No one has ever played that position better than Josh Allen plays it. He's not the greatest player ever.
Bart.
No, you tell me who has played that position better than he plays it.
Lamar Jackson and Justin Herbert right now is cooking. What are we talking about, Greeny? It's so early.
He's better than them. I'm saying you can't be better than Josh Allen is. Josh Allen does everything. His command of what he's doing in the game right now is ridiculous. He just hasn't won anything. If he had won anything, we'd be talking about him with literally the best quarterbacks that ever played.
Why do we have to do this with Josh Allen? I swear we don't do this with any other player in the league. Josh Allen is playing the quarterback position as well as anybody has ever played it. What? He's having a great run, a phenomenal run. But why do we always got to sprinkle in a little bit of hyperbole when it comes to Josh Allen? This is what I think makes people root against Josh Allen and root against the Bills. It feels like the media has already decided to put the crown on his head before he's ever earned the crown or taken it away from anybody. You guys feel like when you're watching Josh Allen, like you're seeing quarterback played at the absolute highest level? You think this is the best that any quarterback has ever performed? Let's just even say remove the postseason accolades, remove taking a team to a Super Bowl. I mean, when you sit down on your couch on Saturday, Thursday, Monday night, and you watch Buffalo's starting quarterback, you feel like you're watching the greatest quarterback performances that you've ever seen. Why do we have to do this? This isn't Patrick Mahomes in 2018. This isn't Aaron Rodgers back in 2011. This isn't Tom Brady back in 2007. Why are we doing this? This is a nice run. Nice run. It's a nice run. You know what this is? This is Jessica Simpson in 06. You remember Jessica Simpson back then? Smoking hot. That wasn't the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. Why are we doing this? Why do we do this with Josh Allen? Can you tell me what's gained by this, Rob? Can you tell me why we've been pushing this narrative for Josh Allen for the last year or so? The greatest he's ever seen?
I mean, it's too much. It's extremely hyperbolic by Greenberg. Best he's ever seen. I mean, come on now. We got to stop. I will say, though, I agree with the original point, and I think I don't know that Chiefs fans can disagree with the original point. Right now, week 2 in the NFL, and really if you want to go back a season. So if you want to say 2024 and through they're through week 3, but week 2 of the NFL season, I think Josh Allen's been the best in that time period. So I don't know it's a moment. I don't know it's a flash in the pan. I think Josh Allen is a very good NFL quarterback. And I think he was a very deserving MVP last year.
I don't think any Chiefs fan would disagree with what you're saying, though.
I think there is a pushback on any quarterback that people praise other than Patrick Mahomes in town, and I think it's especially high for Josh Allen because he hasn't overcome the Mahomes hurdle. I think he gets maybe unfair or foul, I don't know, but I think he gets judged in town of he can't be this good because he can't beat our guy.
But I think that is a very valuable part of this conversation. I don't think there is a Chiefs fan out there. And maybe there is. I can't assume. 913-586-7965. Josh Allen has been a better regular season quarterback than Patrick Mahomes. Like, I don't think that is arguable. Like, I don't know how you can look at the numbers. I don't think how you can look at the stats and then come to the conclusion that Patrick Mahomes has been better in the regular season than Josh Allen. Right? I'm on your side there. But I think we also acknowledge that quarterback play is much greater than that. And that is not how you get the crown. So again, Josh Allen is having an incredible run. He really is. I just feel like we always take it a step too far. That new album that you heard doesn't have to be the greatest album that you've ever heard. That doesn't have to be the best restaurant that you've ever been to. It can still be really good, and it doesn't have to be that. And I just feel like with Josh Allen, we have always taken things that like, oh, yeah, man, he's good. We've taken things that should be like an 8, and we always push it to like 13 when it comes to Josh Allen. That this is the greatest quarterback play you've ever seen before. Then you just started watching the NFL 3 weeks ago. Then you haven't been watching it for that long. If that's the opinion that you came to, is that what you're seeing right now for Buffalo, that's the best quarterback you've ever seen.
I agree with that. Greenberg was the epitome of hyperbolic. The best you've ever seen is a nonsense take. But I do think Allen, you can make a very easy argument that Allen's the best quarterback in the NFL right now. I don't think it's a crazy thing to say that he's the best quarterback currently in the NFL. I don't think he's the best I've ever seen. I think that's nonsense. But I don't know why, to your larger point, I 100% agree. I don't know why people can't just say, Josh Allen might be the best quarterback in the NFL. They have to say the greatest of all time, the best I've ever seen, the best to ever play the position. We don't have to sauce up good players, but for some reason, ESPN feels like they do.
Someone on the text line says Josh Allen is improving and Patrick Mahomes is not. I don't think that Mahomes is not improving. I just firmly believe that the infrastructure around Josh Allen is far better than the infrastructure right now around Mahomes. Now, I know the argument's going to be, well, what do they have at wide receiver? I think if you look at Josh Allen's career, When it really started to take off is when they got James Cook playing at, right now, a top 10 running back level. Maybe I'm the only one that thinks that. But right now, having the ability to turn around and hand the ball off to a player like James Cook, who is having a pretty great run right now. He averaged 4.9 yards per carry last year. He's averaging 5.4 yards per carry this season. Josh Allen has scored 20 touchdowns in the Bills' last 21 games. Being able to rely on that player and that guy being a very worthy weapon, it has transformed their offense. You can't just key in on Josh Allen. One of the complaints that I had about Josh Allen early on in his career, and it was much more of how their team was built, they were asking Josh to do everything. You were asking him to carry it 150 times. You were also asking him to throw for 300 yards. He had to play a near perfect game each and every week to give Buffalo a chance against top flight talent. I don't think you need him to be that anymore. Yeah, you can turn around and let a guy like James Cook give you 19 carries, 108 yards, 5.7 yards per carry, run for a touchdown, and you can win that way. I think right now there's only one way for Kansas City to win on offense. It is Pat has to be special. Pat has to be special. Josh Allen wasn't super special in some of these games, but you just have the infrastructure in place. So I don't think it's that Josh Allen is improving and Pat's not improving. I think they're both really, really good. I think the difference is I think there is just much more around Josh Allen right now than there is around Mahomes. I've been making this point for years, and you've heard me say this, Rob. There's not a team in the NFL that is asking their quarterback to do more with less than Kansas City is. Not a single team. Baltimore is not asking their quarterback to do that. Green Bay is not asking their quarterback to do that. San Francisco, any team that you think is good, they're not asking their quarterback to be Superman on a game-in, game-out basis. That's currently, and a lot of it is due to injuries. That's what Kansas City is asking their quarterback to do, and I think it's just unrealistic in today's game.
So this is one of those things we're just going to disagree on, and that's fine. You're right. James Cook is better than any running back the Chiefs have. You would have a parade if James Cook was on the Chiefs. I do not believe the infrastructure around Josh Allen is light years better than the infrastructure around Patrick Mahomes. I don't. I think it's very similar. Maybe it's a lean because of how good James Cook is, but I think when you look at the totality of everything around Mahomes and totality around everything around Allen, they fall into the same tier. If you were to break it down, who has the best weaponry? Maybe the Bengals and Joe Burrow, you have it one because they have given him everything. Maybe you have, the Cowboys have Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, or the Eagles. Maybe you have all those teams in tier one. And tier two is, our quarterback has to be great. I think Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen fall in the same tier, and maybe it's the 13th best weaponry to the 15th best weaponry, but I don't think what the Bills have infrastructure-wise is just so unbelievably better than the Chiefs that everything around him is so good, and that's why he's good. I think it's a little better, but I think the fact that he was throwing touchdowns to a guy I hadn't even heard of last night, Jackson Hayes, whatever his name is, he was making plays with that guy. Has Patrick Mahomes maybe Tyquan Thornton is the analogy of a guy he's invented, but I feel like the weaponry and infrastructure is way more similar than you're making it feel. James Cook is the only massive difference in the Bills' favor.
And I just think having the ability to run the football and having that guy take the pressure off of you, I just think it's because the Chiefs have de-emphasized the run that now we have made it seem in Kansas City that running the ball and controlling the line of scrimmage is no longer important because the Chiefs can't do it. Where these other good teams, the other teams that you think can win the Super Bowl, they all have the ability to do it. So now we have downplayed it and how important it is in the National Football League. But no, it was a good debate. I'm happy that we had this, at least when it came to Josh Allen. I just don't know why we got to take it to the next level. Coming up on the other side, we are going to talk a little college football. We're going to head to Lawrence. We're going to head to Columbia. They got two big games this week. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Hi, we're your friends who get super excited about the holidays.
We sure are, or this isn't the ugliest holiday sweater ever.
People think we're happy because we love peppermint lattes.
Or catching snowflakes on our tongues.
But really, it's because
it's Holiday Millionaire Raffle season!
It's your best odds to win $1 million.
That's dollars, not twinkling lights, but that would be great too.
Play the Kansas Lottery Holiday Millionaire Raffle. Get excited!
See KSLottery.com for details.
So we do a giveaway. Give me the VIN
getmethevin.com. Every month we're giving away $25,000 to one lucky person that sells us their car. Karen, you there?
I'm here.
Karen Gardner of Oceanside, California is the latest winner in GetMeTheVin.com's big cash giveaway.
What did you sell us?
I sold you a 95 Impala.
And what did we pay you for it?
You guys gave me 18.
18 plus 25,000 because you're the winner, Karen.
Oh my God, you're kidding.
You could be next to get a little more, maybe a lot more.
You guys are awesome. Keep it up.
No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GetMeTheVin.com. Sell us your car.
$100,000 is up for grabs only at Harrah's Kansas City. With 3 ways to win, you could score major prizes. 1. Each day through October 4th, earn to swipe your Caesars Rewards card at a BattleBucks kiosk to instantly win up to $100,000 cash. 2. Collect targets and sink a ship worth up to $1,000 free play. 3. Join us October 4th for drawings with a grand prize of $50,000 cash at Harrah's Kansas City. Visit our website for full details. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, almost Andy Reid here. It's been an honor to give back to the community that's embraced me being almost your head coach. Thanks for letting me be part of your team. Renner Garage Door is a teammate of mine that also values the community that they served for decades. Always giving back and delivering wins with top brands like Geldon, Amar, and LiftMaster. Need a repair or replacement? Get a free estimate today. Forward and back.
R-E-N-N-E-R, R-E-N-N-E-R.
Hey, Chiefs fans, Crown Royal is the official whiskey of the Kansas City Chiefs. And this season, it's not game day without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. Whether you're at the tailgate, in the stands, or watching from home, Crown Royal is the reason and the reward for coming together. Grab a glass with the Crown Royal rig at a stadium near you, because we'll be sharing the generous spirit with fans across the country. Crown Royal, fueling game day with a generous spirit. Visit www.crownroyal.com/royal rig for more on the Crown Royal Rig Tour. Please drink responsibly.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things. Like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed. From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Introducing the new Dell AI PC powered by the Intel Core Ultra processor. It helps do your busy work for you, so you can fast forward through editing images, designing presentations, generating code, debugging code, summarizing meeting notes, finding files, managing a schedule, and responding to Jim's long emails. Leaving all the time in the world for the things you actually want to do. No offense, Jim. Get a new Dell AI PC at dell.com/AI-PC. How those ahead stay ahead.
This afternoon, expect patchy fog in the morning, followed by sunny skies with a high of 82.
Weather brought to you by Robert Half. Our recruiters' expertise and award-winning AI will find you the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
This is 96.5 The Fan, your home for Chiefs football.
We're going to head to Columbia here coming up in just a bit, but let me remind you guys that our college football coverage on 96.5 The Fan is brought to you by Bud Light. Bud Light and Tanners are teaming up to make every college game day legendary. Every Saturday, rep your favorite college team, catch every play, and enjoy $15 buckets only at Kansas area Tanners locations. Bud Light and Tanners, from the stands to the bar, your game day headquarters. Let's head to the phone lines to be joined by BK to take a look at the Missouri Tigers as they play host to South Carolina this weekend. BK, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing great, T-Dot. What's good, man?
Doing fantastic. I wanted Mizzou to get game day. They didn't get game day. I think that's a combination of Sellers got hurt last week and South Carolina also lost to Vanderbilt.
I think it's purely South Carolina lost to Vandy. I think if South Carolina wins that game and they're coming in off of, a decent win, this is probably the game that they're at this weekend. But instead, they chose to go to Miami for what I think is going to be a pretty horrific game. But, it is what it is.
I really liked South Carolina at the end of the season last year. I thought that they were probably one of the 12 best teams. I understand why they didn't make the college football playoff, but I certainly thought they were good enough to be in that conversation last year. They got off to a little bit of a slow start. This is one of the better games this weekend. How do you handicap this thing?
Yeah, man, it's tough. I thought South Carolina was going to be really good. I fell into the Lenore Sellers fan club. Like, I was president, CEO, anything you could possibly be. I was buying all the way in on Sellers. I was more in on him than I was on Arch Manning coming into the season just because I had seen it. Like, we had seen real glimpses from Sellers at this level. He was special. I mean, you remember what we saw last year in the game against Mizzou? That guy was amazing. So I was all in on him. I love what they bring back on the defensive line. And if you have a quarterback, you've got a defensive line. That's a really good start in college football. So I bought in. And then you watch their games, and it's like, man, it's just not the same team that it was a year ago. And I undersold what they had lost, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I think Missouri's the better football team. So I come into this weekend, I think the line's a little high if Sellers is going to be playing, but I think this is probably pretty close to a touchdown game in favor of Mizzou. That's how I see it. Are you on a similar side there?
Yeah, I do think the line's a little bit high. I was telling Rob early in the week, I told him I thought the play was to bet South Carolina plus the 13, and then if we got good news about Sellers to then bet Missouri and whatever it is and try to hope that you can find that middle somewhere. I do think Missouri is better than South Carolina. It's a home night game in conference. I think you always got to side with the home team. But South Carolina and Mizzou are definitely in very similar weight classes that I think in some ways this is a coin flip game.
Yep. Yeah, there's a few of those on Mizzou's schedule this year. So the thing about this game, CDOT, is if you were to lose it, it basically eliminates any of your margin for error the rest of the way. It's as close to a must-win for Mizzou to be able to accomplish the goals that it set out as you can have without actually truly being a must-win because you haven't lost a game yet. So there's still the ability to get yourself back on track with the expansion of the college football playoffs. So it's a huge one. It's also a series that has provided us so many memorable moments already. I mean, if you were going to say, hey, who is Mizzou's true rival in the SEC, I have consistently pointed to South Carolina, their peer programs. They both kind of feel like outcasts relative to the rest of the conference. They don't feel like traditional powers in the SEC. They're always looking for that respect from the teams that have been there for 100 years. So it is one of those games that means a lot to both fan bases. And for both of these teams, it means a ton to be able to either South Carolina get their season back on track or for Mizzou to give themselves a feather in the cap of a real legitimate win that everybody will recognize nationally.
I'm looking at Missouri's schedule, and I think that's a really good point that you mentioned about South Carolina. I mean, they have a stretch there where I think people were kind of looking at it like, oh, hey, they've got one of the easier schedules in the SEC. Alabama, Auburn, Vanderbilt, A&M, and on the road against Oklahoma. I'm not going to say it's the toughest schedule in the SEC. It's certainly not a cakewalk schedule.
This is the thing about the SEC this year. I don't think there is a truly elite team in the conference right now. I think there are probably 10 to 12 teams, though, that on any given day, they can beat just about anybody. So it actually has made Missouri's schedule more difficult because they don't play any of those teams that we assumed coming into the season were going to be truly elite. Like, they didn't have Georgia on their schedule. They didn't have Texas on their schedule. That was never a problem for them. But they've got a lot of these teams that are in that middle, the 4 to 10 range in the conference on their schedule, including Oklahoma, including Auburn. And those games have become much more difficult. That, by the way, of the non-Mizzou games this weekend, Indiana versus Illinois and Oklahoma versus Auburn, those are the two to me that are maybe the most intriguing.
That is our guy, BK, joining us on the show today to take a closer look at the Missouri Tigers as they play host to South Carolina. I think I read, BK, that this is the third night game that Missouri has had since COVID. They just don't get a lot of these games in Columbia.
I'm going to be there for it, C-Dot. It's my first Mizzou game in a minute. I'm really looking forward to being there. Yeah, it's the last Mizzou game, I think that was a night game, was in conference against Florida, the really good finish, 4th and 13, the Luther Burden play. I was in attendance for that one. I'll be in attendance for this one, so I'm looking forward to being there. Should be a really good environment. I think it's a blackout, too.
All right,
so
well,
it'll be a good one.
I will see you there. I will be there as well, man, so we'll run into each other, man. I appreciate you popping on today.
Absolutely, man. Good to talk with you.
Absolutely. That is BK joining us on the show today for the MU side of things. Remember, our college football coverage on Fridays is brought to you by Tanner's. If you want to stop by, get yourself a $15 bucket of Bud Light. Go stop by any Kansas area Tanner's. All right, we're talking about Kansas Tanner's. Let's talk about the Kansas Jayhawks. Rob, when was the last time that KU was a comfortable home favorite in conference play? I don't know when that's been the case, but it's 13.5 right now. Vegas thinks that the Jayhawks are going to put it on the Mountaineers this weekend.
First off, if you're a gambler, I hate this number. 13.5 is crazy. Like 13.5 is so many points for a team that beat Pitt last weekend. That number feels high.
You'd be crying about getting no respect. Now they give you all the respect, and now you hate the number.
Getting a big number against West Virginia is not the definition of respect, by the way. But I think I saw this article on 24/7. This is like the highest line, the biggest line since 2009 in Lawrence.
That makes sense.
This is not a thing that KU fans have experienced all that often at home. Just the expectation that you're going to thump someone in conference at home.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it right now. I mean, that's the biggest spread of any team in the Big 12. I mean, it's comparable to Colorado and Wyoming. I just don't really know why you would bet any money on Colorado with the way that they looked last week. Again, the expectation is that you guys are going to take care of business. I would guess, Rob, that you have to feel very confident in your team. I know they lost their last game, but you get a bye week. It feels like you at least have some stability at quarterback for this season. I think KU's talent level is a little bit better than maybe we anticipated. If KU puts together the effort that they put at Missouri, they're going to be able to knock off a lot of teams in the Big 12 this year.
I remember after the game in Columbia, obviously I was disappointed. Kansas lost. They got outplayed by Missouri. All those things are 100% true. I'm not sitting here making excuses. Missouri was the better team, period, end of discussion. But I walked out of that game kind of encouraged by Kansas' chances to be a threat in the Big 12 because their schedule is kind of advantageous for them to make some noise at the top of the league. The teams that we feel like are, Big 12 title contenders, I mean, we don't feel that way about K-State anymore. It's basically Iowa State, Utah, Texas Tech. Then there's kind of a fall off. I guess maybe you'd put Baylor in this category, Arizona State. But KU doesn't play Baylor and Arizona State. So now, if you're KU, you can start gobbling up wins against lesser opponents. You probably don't make it to Arlington and make it to the Big 12 title game. But there's no reason you can't be a salty 8-4, 9-3, and suddenly there's a lot of energy and momentum for next year type of team because you know as well as I do, Carrington, 9-win seasons in college football are nothing to sneeze at. There is value in that, and KU with their schedule, and if they play the way they did in Columbia, can easily do that in the Big 12.
I just now noticed it. I pulled up KU's schedule. They have a bye week before the game against K-State.
K-State also has a bye, though.
Okay, all right. I wasn't sure.
Both teams get a bye before the rivalry game.
I just had the KU because I was about to say, if you can't beat this K-State team and you're coming off a bye, you got to give that money back to David Booth. I'm serious. You got to give it back. All $300 million, one by one, you need to give the money back if you can't beat this year's version of the Wildcats. We love Derek Young on the show. Remember, he was trying to spin it like it's a positive now that they're really going to lock in for the KU game. A whole lot of rationalization going over on the Manhattan side of things. Now, I can't pull for the Jayhawks. I can't. But I am kind of intrigued if KU can pull off the upset this year. Some people just want to see the world burn. I just want to be on social media and see what the energy could potentially be like for the first time since 2009, 2008.
08. It's been 16 years.
Since Todd Reesing was in college. Todd Reesing was in school the last time the KU beat K-State in a football game. All right, coming up at the top of the hour, let's talk about the New York Giants. I have no clue what to expect from their quarterback. We'll talk about it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Tune in Mondays at 4 to hear the play-by-play voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holtis, on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan.
Don't you just love an NFL Sunday? You got your boys, your couch, your snacks, your favorite games, and FanDuel is sprinkling in something a little bit extra. This isn't just a normal NFL Sunday. It's your chance to place that perfect parlay or Hit your favorite go-to player prop, and they're making it even better at FanDuel because they're bringing the bonuses. That's right. All customers can get a 50% profit boost on any NFL bet. So however you play your game, FanDuel's got your back when it comes to putting a little extra into your account, because that's what Sundays should feel like. Visit FanDuel.com. Use my promo code KFNZ to download the app and get in on the action right before kickoff. And remember, FanDuel is an official sports betting partner of 96.5 The Fan and also the NFL. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable profit boost. Tokens restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Get out with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit kansasgamblinghelp.com.
Hi, I'm Becca, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. As an in-house designer, I can't wait for you to see our incredible selection of stylish and stackable rings. If you're shopping for your wedding bands, we have high-quality designs for every style and budget, from romantic to modern. If you're looking to add to a stack, your options are endless. Discover styles with clusters of gemstones, sleek all-metal designs, updated cigar bands, and signet rings perfect for an engraving. Because a friend knows you like options. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Monday's a huge day at Hy-Vee. Not only is Hy-Vee always finding new ways to save me money, like new lower prices in every department, on top of that, I save so much money at the pump with Hy-Vee's awesome fuel saver deals. Monday, that's the day, September 22nd, you're going to earn a 40-cent per gallon fuel discount with every $60 grocery purchase. So you can stock up for fall fun and stack up those fuel savings as well. I love seeing the price roll back at the pump, only at Hy-Vee.
It's game day, and nothing says Chiefs football like the aroma of a tailgate grill. Kick off your pregame party with a Kingdom Meat Bundle from Hy-Vee. Get 4 boneless chicken breasts, 4 pork chops, 4 bratwursts, and 4 chuck patties for just $30. Plus, get a 10-cent per gallon fuel saver. Toss in some chips and dip, side dishes, and Chiefs-themed baked goods. Score the extra point with your favorite tailgate beverage from Hy-Vee Wine and Spirit. Just one stop for all your game day needs, only at Hy-Vee.
It's time to build that dream deck over at All Weather Decks. Schedule a free estimate today at 913-206-1974 or online at allweatherdecks.net. All Weather Decks, the right deck at the right price.
What's up, football fans? Picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown in the game, but his teammate scores instead. If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. With BetMGM's second chance offer, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. Try a first touchdown scorer wager with confidence today. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older. This specific promotional offer is not available in Mississippi, Pennsylvania, Puerto Rico, or Ontario. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 in New York. In Arizona, 1-800-NEXT-STEP. In Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 in Puerto Rico. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products or compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Chiefs coverage is sponsored by Missouri Air National Guard St. Joseph, serving your community your way. Ready to launch your future? Don't miss the Missouri Air National Guard St. Joseph Career Fair, September 24th and 25th at Rosecrans Air National Guard Base. Explore over 50 careers. Search Join 139AV on Facebook or Instagram and register now.
Wildcat fans, this is Wyatt Thompson. Tune in all season long to the play-by-play of the 2025 football season, right here on your home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
I don't think that I am alone in this feeling heading into this matchup. I have absolutely no clue what the quarterback of the New York Giants is going to do. Maybe you know. Maybe you have a crystal ball and you can answer that question for me. As somebody who watched a large portion of their game this past Sunday, and I watched enough of week 1 against the Commanders. In week 1, Russell Wilson was 17 of 37. That's completing 46% of your passes for 168 yards. He averaged 4.5 yards per attempt. He didn't throw a touchdown, didn't throw an interception, and was bad. And their offense scored 6 points. And you were thinking to yourself, this is the Giants that I thought I was going to see. If you remember, if you go back a couple of weeks, people thought that the Giants were going to sit Russell Wilson heading into week 2. They've spent the first round pick on a quarterback. They also got maybe the world's best motivational speaker in Jameis Winston on the team. People thought that they were going to go in a different direction. The Giants game started last week with James Hudson, their left tackle. He had 5 penalties in the first quarter of the game and looked like he was having a meltdown. And again, I'm thinking to myself, same old Giants. I've seen this before. This Giants team is about to implode. Well, little did I know, Russell Wilson, 30 of 41, 450 yards. He completed 73% of his passes. He now averaged 11 yards per attempt. He threw 3 touchdowns. He was absolutely cooking. He got them out of the fire multiple times. Now, he pushed them back into the fire with an interception in overtime, but you get the point. We saw the full pendulum of Russell Wilson at this stage in his career. He was terrible in week 1. He was tremendous in week 2. I don't know what version you're going to get of him on Sunday. You could tell me that Russell Wilson threw for 350 yards against this Chiefs defense, and I wouldn't be that surprised. I think they have the weapons to do it. Malik Neighbors is fantastic. Wan'Dale Robinson, I think, is proven as a pretty good number 3 option. I don't think he's a traditional number 2, but he just kind of got to be on that team. They haven't really ran the ball very effectively yet. They went out and got Cam Scatterboo. I mean, he's been a short yardage guy, but hasn't really broken through. Tyrone Tracy hasn't been that great so far this season. So, I mean, there's been some problems with the offense, and yet they were able to put up 37 points last week against the Cowboys. So I'm looking at this, and it sounds crazy to say for a team starting quarterback, because obviously that guy needs to play well in order for their team to win. I don't know if anybody could tell you what the quarterback play for the Giants is going to look like. Russell Wilson could throw for 150 yards in this game. He could throw for 350 yards, and I would not be surprised at any outcome that we get from him.
Is he the most, was it Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde player in the NFL? Because I remember after week 1, the national media, first things first on right here in the studio, those type of shows were discussing, is it time for Jackson Dart? He played 1 game, and it was like, all right, it might be over. It might be time to start the rookie. That was an actual conversation national prognosticators were having about the Giants quarterback. 1 week later, I'm now watching the same national television, the same national show, first things first, and the headline reads, can Russell Wilson outduel Mahomes? He's been better in passer rating than Mahomes this year. What happened in 1 week to Russell Wilson? I was like you. I watched that Cowboys game, mostly because I stupidly took the Cowboys minus 4.5, but that's not important. I remember thinking to myself, that's Seattle Russell Wilson out there. That's the guy that won the Super Bowl. He was throwing dots as far as deep balls. Just the one that took the lead at the end of regulation before the Cowboys got the long field goal, that throw to Malik Neighbors was really good and really vintage Russ. So I know it's a bad sports talk take to have, and I should come on here and be like, I know what Russell Wilson's going to look like, and the Chiefs are going to pummel. but I legitimately don't know what version of Russ you're going to see. Because if they see the version that played in Washington, the Chiefs should absolutely cruise. If they saw the version that played in Dallas, the Chiefs might have a little bit of a dogfight on their hands because that was a good quarterback in the NFL I saw last week.
You know what? I want to take a little bit of a detour. We don't get the opportunity to do this nearly enough. Now, this used to be a staple of the show when Russell Wilson was in the division. And now that he's moved around and who knows what team he plays for, it has denied us from some of the great audio that we have on this show. This is the only day that we are going to be able to do it. I have some audio that I think you guys would like to hear. Can we go down a trip down memory lane with Russell, Carrington, Wilson?
Well, I think, first of all, I think that, for me, I've always been about, the extra work. If somebody says, you got to do, X amount, I triple it. That's just how I've always been,
Just put my jersey on for the first time. Broncos orange, let's ride. Green screening it with my boy. Yes, sir. Let's go. We in the orange, baby. Let's go. Let's ride, baby. Ooh. So clean right now, no cat. Well, we know what we doing. I had my boy Drew. Now I got 1-4 with me. 1-4 with me. Boy, hey. Hey. Yes, sir. So what we gonna do? Yes, sir.
Listening back to those Broncos clips when they were so excited to get Russell Wilson is kind of like the excitement that you have when you and your guys are going to go out for the night. Oh, man, we going to hit up the town, man. We going to get a couple of drinks. We going to get on these girls. Man, it's going to be fun. Next thing you know, it's the three of y'all just sitting around on your phone. You're not doing anything. It's a dud. This was a waste of a night. You should have just stayed at home with your wife. Man, the Broncos, they were so excited to get Russell Wilson. And we got Russell Wilson here, man. We're about to win this championship. We're going to dethrone the Chiefs. We're going to ride off into the sunset.
Let's ride.
Broncos.
Let's ride.
Perfect. Okay. One more time. Broncos country. Let's ride.
Broncos country. Let's ride. Broncos country. Let's ride. Broncos country. Let's ride. Broncos country. Let's ride.
This is my question. Now, you guys have seen these like pump up videos. In what way would they need you to say Broncos country, let's ride, the way you said it the last 3 or 4 times? I get the Broncos country, let's ride. You're on the Jumbotron when you say this. In what world, Rob, do they need you to say it like this?
Let's ride, country. Let's ride. Broncos country. Let's ride.
In what way do you think they were going to use that audio? In what setting do you think they were going to use that audio? Russell, you're an interesting human being.
I don't really get jet lag too often. I don't really, I've traveled enough to get, kind of get my system down. But yeah, for me, I was on the plane first 2 hours. I was, first 2 hours, probably 8 hours flight here. That's the first 2 hours I was watching the film, watching all the cut-ups and everything else. And then for the next 4 hours, I was doing treatment on the plane. I was walking up and down the aisles. Everybody was knocked out. I was doing high knees and working on my legs and everything else, make sure I'm ready to rock. So that was good. And then the last hour of that, I fell asleep for 1 hour, and I watched the film the rest. So,
Russell, if you don't sit down and listen to music on your podcast like everybody else, Russell, if you don't sit down and watch a movie that you downloaded on your phone like everybody else, you in the middle of the aisle doing high knees. I see why it didn't work in Denver. Bro, I'm trying to sleep over here. What do you got going on over there? You doing exercises in the aisle? Come on, big dog. Come sit down next to me, man. Let's play cards the way we used to, man. We got to get back to playing cards in the back of the plane. That's when we lost professional sports. If you're telling me that your team's not gambling in the back of the team flight, that explains why your team doesn't have good chemistry and good team camaraderie. You got to do it the same way that Mike did it back in 95, 96. You're doing workouts. Absolutely not.
Can you imagine being asleep on the plane and you look over and you're like kind of halfway awake on a flight to London and Russell Wilson's now doing high knees? I would punch him. Punch him square in the face.
I mean, there's only one way to end this segment. You guys thought that I had forgotten? No, there is one clip that brought us here. There is one clip that we can play that if you've been listening to this show, you know is a top 5 soundbite in Drive history. We've got the left hand up. Who are we? The Commanders. We've got the Missouri voicemail. I mean, really? There's some audio clips that go into the Drive Hall of Fame. But this one, this is the first ballot. This is the Tom Brady. This is the Patrick Mahomes, the Michael Jordan. This might be the best clip that we have ever played on this show.
Hey guys, Russell here. Yes, the typical boring, yes, Russell, the robot Russell, the one you guys love to know. Real exciting. Yeah, I'm real exciting. But anyways, everybody has to have an alter ego, right? And I've been thinking about what my alter ego would be, and I think I have an alter ego. His name's Mr. Unlimited. Yeah, you got to be unlimited. You got to have a thought process of being unlimited. So when people ask you, what you're thinking about or what you want to do in life or where you want to go, you got to be unlimited. Tell them, I'm unlimited. You know what I mean? So when they ask you certain questions like,
who brings you motivation, Russell?
Mr. Unlimited.
Who's your role model, Russell?
Unlimited.
Who's your go-to person for advice, Russell?
They think Pete Carroll, they think this person, think that person. Love you, Pete, but it's Mr. Unlimited. Tell him.
Yes, Mr. Unlimited. I mean, that's who it is. The Chiefs are in trouble if Mr. Unlimited is at MetLife this weekend. They could beat Russell Wilson. No problem. They could beat Russell Wilson. Can the Chiefs right now with their offense, could they outduel Mr. Unlimited? I don't know. I mean, the Chiefs offense has limits. The Giants offense is unlimited. I mean, it's going to be a good one. When you got 2 0-2 teams fighting to avoid that 0-3, and one side has Super Bowl MVP, 2-time, 3-time Super Bowl champion, maybe the greatest quarterback of his era. The other one has Mr. Unlimited. Yeah, I mean, you never know. Coming up on the other side, we're going to head to New York City to be joined by Sean Marash. That's all coming up. Keep it right here. So Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Here we go. Count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
This is incredible.
Watch your local NFL game live all season long.
And he's in for a touchdown.
Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today.
Hey, I want to tell you guys about our friends over at The Other Place. They got great game day specials on Sunday night for the Kansas City game. They got a 14-inch 2-topping pizza for $12, or you can get 8 wings and a basket of tots, also for $12. Maybe you're looking for a cold beverage. Well, you can get one with a $4 domestic cup. Today, it's a Red Friday. They got $6 select appetizers. They also got a Busch Light tall boy. And you know Rob, he loves himself a Busch Light. So if you're looking for a place to watch some college football games this weekend, maybe a place to watch a little pro football this weekend, if you want a one-of-a-kind game day experience, an atmosphere that's close to watching the game in the stadium, you want a place that's been making the best pizza in town for the last 25 years, and a place that has locations all across the metro. Well, I can tell you where that place is with our friends over at The Other Place.
Ring the bell. We've done it again. Golden Oak Lending has lowered rates to 4.875 fixed. Lower your monthly payment, get cash out, pay off credit cards, and best of all, make no mortgage payments for 2 months. Lock in this incredible 4.875 rate and get your cash in as little as 14 days. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
5.81 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here with the Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Please gamble responsibly. Coming up, Week 3 Pro Football Sunday, Dallas, a 1-point road favorite at Chicago, total in the game, 50.5. I do like the over in the game, but also like Dallas to win this game. I don't understand how Dallas isn't a bigger favorite than this. Chicago's quarterback has not been good to start the season, and even though Dallas's defense is nothing to write home about, I don't trust Chicago's quarterback. And on the flip side, Chicago's defense is bad, Chicago's defense is injured, and we know Dallas's quarterback is good. So coming up on Sunday, we'll lay the short price with Dallas in Chicago. That's it for this Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Download the BetMGM app today, and please gamble responsibly.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Listen up, folks. I want to tell you guys about my new obsession. It's Daisy French Onion Dip. With football season here, it is the perfect dip for your chips, your wings. The delicious Daisy French Onion Dip and the Daisy Ranch Dip, they're game changers. They're delicious as a homemade dip, and they're made with real herbs and real spices and also ingredients that you find right there in your kitchen. So the next time you're having people come over to celebrate the start of the football season, you better make sure you have one thing, and I'm talking about that Daisy French Onion Dip. You can find it the next time you go to the grocery store.
Hey, folks, I've got a couple of important questions for you. Do you know how much money you need to retire? Do you have a plan in place for your loved ones? If your answer is no, it's time to get your financial planning on track with UMB Private Wealth. It's never too late to start. Plus, their team supports you at every step of the planning process. Go to umb.com/privatewealth to schedule your appointment. That's umb.com/privatewealth. Why not start today?
Straight Talk presents the math of more. Here's how it works. When you say yes to more with Straight Talk, you're left with more for all the other good stuff. So getting an unlimited plan starting at just $25 a month equals more savings for your family's weekend adventures. And with a network covered by Verizon, you can share more from wherever you go. It's simple math, really. More equals more with Straight Talk. Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Taxes and fees apply. The $25 plan requires a compatible unlocked device and a new line of service. Additional terms apply.
The John Deere Gator XUV lets you cut, pack, drive, scout, weld, stack, feed, pull, load, tow, spray, and haul, all in a single day. Because with the highest cargo box volume in its class, customizable features, and a towing capacity of up to 4,000 pounds, it gets the job done. You just have to get in the seat. Learn more at your John Deere dealer or visit johndeere.com/GatorXUV.
eBay has reinvented vehicle buying. From click to curb, everything's covered. Ever try to buy a car online and end up in a parking lot with a stranger and some blind trust? That era is over. Now with Secure Purchase, eBay isn't just where you find your car. It's where you buy it, start to finish. Title, financing, registration, delivery, it's all built in. This is the modern way to buy your next ride on eBay. eBay. Things people love. Secure Purchase is powered by Caramel Dealer Services, LLC, an eBay subsidiary.
For more than half a century, contractors and trade professionals have relied on WeatherGuard for heavy-duty truck and van storage equipment. Not just to protect their tools, but to protect their professional reputations. Whether it's inside or outside of work vehicles, a WeatherGuard badge means pros can trust that their hard-earned name is in good hands. Since 1968 and every day since, WeatherGuard has been protecting anything it takes to build a professional reputation. WeatherGuard, established in 1968, proven every day. WeatherGuard.com.
If you could hear Old Spice Fiji Antiperspirant, what would it sound like? First, you'd start with Fiji Antiperspirant's amazing scent of palm trees. Add pure notes of fresh coconut and layer on 24/7 odor and sweat protection. You won't hear any dyes or parabens because with Fiji, you won't have any. So while your regular antiperspirant sounds like this, Old Spice Fiji sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Park & Go, the best deals on airport parking.
Don't fumble your airport parking. Score big with Park & Go. All covered parking, fast and free shuttles, and open 24/7. For the best deals in airport parking, reserve your spot now at bookparkandgo.com. Park & Go, family owned and fan approved.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Missouri side delays building eastbound 70 passing 435 and a little bit heavy through the Grandview Triangle, eastbound 470 exiting to southbound 50 Highway. Northland, watch for an accident, eastbound 152 just past 29 Highway. Amy Lauren, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Hey, it's George Karlaftis from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome to The Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back to the show. My name is Carrington Harrison. Very happy to be here with you on this wonderful, wonderful Friday. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll take a trip around week 3 of the NFL season. We'll get to some of the top storylines as we head into more NFL action. In about 45 minutes, we'll be joined by Nate Taylor of ESPN. He will join us in studio. I believe this is the first time this season he's been in studio. Maybe I'm a little bit off on my recollection of when Nate has been here. It's been kind of a weird start to the Chiefs season. Earlier today, I got a chance to catch up with Sean Marash. He hosts Afternoons in New York City. He is with WFAN. It is the most popular sports talk station in the country. And I started our interview with, man, I knew the Giants would be 0-2 coming into this matchup. I didn't think Kansas City was going to be 0-2.
It's crazy, Carrington. I think the last time I was on with you here locally, we talked about when the schedule came out and the idea of the Giants home opener being Sunday Night Football and your guys, the Chiefs, coming into town. And I thought for sure at worst we'd be talking about a 1-1 Chief team coming in here. The world we live in now, Carrington, there is actual hope from Giant fans in this game that maybe, just maybe, there's a little crack in the Chiefs' armor, giving the Giants a possibility for the first win. I can't believe we're sitting here 2-0-2s.
So what's the feeling heading into this game? I watched a large majority of that game against the Dallas Cowboys. That was the game right before the Chiefs, so it just carried into Chiefs and Eagles. Russell Wilson looked like he found a time machine. He also made a mistake late that ended up proving critical. How are you guys feeling about the G-men heading into this one?
Okay, so it's a glass half full, glass half empty approach here, Carrington. Right for starters, I think everybody thought that the identity and the strength of the New York Giants was going to be their defense. They possess 3 fantastic pass rushers. I mean, obviously, jury going to be out on Abdul Carter, the 3rd overall pick. But through 2 games, while they were okay against Jaden Daniels in Washington, they were horrendous, allowing 40 points and everything that happened in that 4th quarter. The pass rushers like Brian Burns has 3 sacks on the year. He's gotten there. But overall, this Giant defense, Shane Bowen, the defensive coordinator, is under a lot of scrutiny. They have just not been what everybody thought they were going to be on paper. They've already suffered, significant injuries along the linebacker front. But that's the glass half empty. The glass half full is they scored 6 points on opening day in Washington, and that's kind of what we thought. Well, if it's not Malik Neighbors, who's going to get anything done? And now then you get that offensive explosion in week 2 where Russell Wilson dials back the clock to deep ball, something that the Giants had not had happen for about 6 years under the Daniel Jones era. So it depends which way you want to squeeze the orange here, Carrington. I think offensively, Giant fans are optimistic. They're thinking what they saw last week, while maybe not, fully replicated, can exist, but this defense has to show some kind of life for any positivity to truly be fully engaged with the Giant fan base.
Sean, what's the sense of optimism right now heading into this game? Because I'm guessing at the very beginning of the season, this was a game that you automatically marked an L next to. No chance you thought you could win this game. But seeing the Chiefs start 0-2, seeing the struggles that they've had on offense, it at least has to give yourself some any given Sunday confidence that the Giants could pull off an upset.
I think you put it perfectly there, Carrington. And this is why it's always silly and stupid to look at an NFL schedule in April and just assume you know the record based on opponent, based on the time you're playing an opponent, injuries. I mean, look how many quarterbacks aren't starting in the NFL this week. The belief was the Giants had to split one of those first 2 games with a Washington team that might have had a little bit of luck on their side last year, and a Dallas team, especially after trading Micah Parsons, where you thought the defense wouldn't be the same. And lo and behold, the defense is not the same. And you looked at this game going, get out of that 1-1 because you're definitely losing to the Chiefs in week 3. Well, now we're here. And I don't think that there is a total push where people assume by any means the Giants are winning this game. Hell, I certainly don't. And there's plenty of reasons why they shouldn't. But at the same time, you do now view the Chiefs, at least now in the early season. I'd rather be playing the Chiefs right now in week 3 than playing them in week 10, week 11, if they figure things out. It does feel like Kansas City's off. Obviously, not having Rashee Rice, we paid attention to that, hasn't been great. So there is more optimism than we thought in April when the schedule came out. But again, then there's that sign of with optimism comes desperation. You're getting a desperate Chief team at 0-2. You're getting a Chief team with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, and you guys know this. The DNA is, even if you're not blowing teams out, which you rarely do, you find ways to win tight games. And the Giants' DNA has been, well, even if you play these tight games, you find ways to lose them. So there's more hope, but I think overall there's still that sense of, oh, damn, now the Chiefs are even more desperate than we thought in April, and maybe we can't catch them sleeping.
Right now, we're talking to Sean Marash, taking a closer look at the New York Giants. Do you have an explanation for the defense? Because you and I had a very similar thought, and you mentioned it earlier. In week one, now, you guys didn't win the game against Washington, but you certainly showed some positive signs. Not really many positive signs for the defense when they give up 40 points. It feels to me like the chance for Giants to pull off this upset, it has to be based in their front four. It has to be based off them kind of muddying this game up and getting pressure. Do you feel confident that the Giants can do that? Personnel-wise, it would appear that they can, but we haven't seen that executed out on the field.
Yeah, now, it's so weird, right? Because the defense has at least shown signs with the pass rush, but it's not showing up on the back end. Here's the deal. Where it all starts and ends for the Giants and why they find themselves in this spot defensively is, for as good as the pass rush could be, this team cannot stop the run. They are dead last in stopping the run. Ironically enough, the Chiefs have had a tough time running the football. They lost starting linebacker Micah McFadden on opening day to a brutal foot injury, foot surgery, and that's kind of been an unheralded, sneaky problem. But the Giants secondary is super young outside of a guy like Javon Holland. They signed Paulson Adebo, who's been up and down and erratic over from the New Orleans Saints, and have just young bodies. Tyler Nubin, Drew Phillips, who had the pick last week, and then basically a rotating cast of failed first-round pick Deontay Banks and a former third-round pick in Cordell Flott rotating the other outside corner spot. They're very vulnerable to a deep pass if the pass rush doesn't get home, and the run-stopping defense just hasn't been there. And to be frank, the best player on this defense has been Dexter Lawrence. He has just not been a difference maker through 2 games, and it has showed up on tape enormously. So, honestly, if I'm looking at this from a Kansas City point of view, this is a get-right spot, I think, for that run game if the Chiefs' offense wants to do that. And I think that's the path to victory on exposing this Giant defense. If the Chiefs abandon the run and don't take advantage of that, I do think then the Chiefs become ripe for the picking, and the Giant pass rush can have its best game of the year so far.
Are you worried about this season getting away from the Giants? Because looking ahead to their schedule, Kansas City, the Chargers, Philadelphia, Denver, on the road against Philadelphia, San Francisco. Like, we could be looking up, and the Giants are a scrappy team, but they also can be 2-6 and probably firing their head coach soon.
Yeah, well, and that's the juxtaposition, man. Am I worried about the defense getting the schedule getting away from them? Of course, I was worried in April about that. I was worried about May and that in July, and this is worst case scenario with them at 0-2, not finding a way to get a win there and having this Chief Charger piggyback before the Saints game, which you just praise a win in Week 5. Certainly worried about it. The difference, though, and I know the outside noise will be there for Brian Dable, and we may get there at the end of the year, we may not, is, again, the best part about this season for the Giants is if the season gets away from them, you get the newfound hope of watching a rookie quarterback that you drafted in the first-round play. So while we are worried about it, I wouldn't shock me, Carrington, if there's a smidge of Giant fans secretly hoping, you know what, the faster we lose these games, the faster they abandon this Russell Wilson thing, and we get to see the real stake on our plate, which is Jackson Dart in the first round, who had a great preseason.
Sean, last couple questions here, and I'll get you out of here, man. Really appreciate your time. First question is, give me an X factor on the offense, a guy that, outside of Malik Neighbors, is it a Wan'Dale Robinson? Is it a Cam Scatterbu, a Tyrone Tracy?
Well,
give me an X factor on the offensive side for the Giants. And if the Giants are able to pull off this upset, give us the pathway. Give us the game script in which the Giants do it.
Perfect 2 follow-ups here. So the Giants have struggled to run the ball despite the fact that Cam Scatterbu broke off a big run and then powered into the end zone. I'm oddly worried about Tyrone Tracy, who had a really brilliant rookie year, and he hasn't looked the same, but the run blocking hasn't been there. The X factor, though, you nailed it, was the first name you said, Wan'Dale Robinson, because for the first early part of his career, he was a guy who would run short of the sticks on third downs, catch a million balls with no yardage, and Russell Wilson has compared him now to Tyler Lockett, and I think that we have seen something unlocked, for lack of a better term, with Wan'Dale Robinson and getting down the field in these quick strikes that Wilson is hitting him with. I mean, his yardage has exploded. He catches a big touchdown last week. This is just not the same player with Russell Wilson, and this is in a better way than we saw early on, and he's totally given another element besides just relying on Malik Neighbors solely. So that is somebody absolutely Kansas City to account for. I can't give you a running back yet until this team proves they can run the football, and the run blocking hasn't been there. As far as a pathway goes, I think the Giants got to punch Kansas City in the mouth early in this game, and this is something I don't think will happen, but the Giants need to have anywhere between an 8 to 10 point lead at any point in that third quarter or fourth quarter for you to even fathom the Giants holding on and winning this game. Because you guys might be beaten down by the Chief offense a little bit. This Giant team has just invented ways to lose in the fourth quarter when they do give the fans hope. And I don't trust, and you can call me a conspiracy theorist, the Chiefs at 0-2. I don't trust the referee flags. I don't trust a roughing the passer not being called on a Patrick Mahomes as this Chief team tries to find a way to victory. If they are down a touchdown or less in that fourth quarter, I think the Giants are doomed and they will find a way to lose that game. So the pathway to victory is, hey, hit on those big plays, stun Kansas City early, and just pray you can hang on for dear life and you have a big enough lead where your pass rush can just tee off on Mahomes late in that fourth quarter, but know that it's going to take two scores to come back and tie or win that game. That, to me, is the only way the Giants find a way to win this game.
That is Sean Marash joining us on the show. He's with WFAN in New York City, getting you ready for Sunday Night Football between the Chiefs and the Giants, two 0-2 teams. I did not think we would be here. Sean, great stuff as always, man. Look forward to catching up with you down the road.
Later, Carrington. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Coming up in a little bit, we are going to take a trip around the NFL and get to some of the key storylines as we get you ready for week 3 of the NFL season. Now, I know that I have been the lead proponent for run the football. I get that. And maybe you're tired of hearing me talk about it. Move on. Talk about something else. Well, it matters. The Chiefs running backs last week had 19 carries and got 55 yards. Now, I know some of you want them to run the football more. In a lot of ways, I want them to run the football more. But it's kind of hard to say that you should trust the running backs more when you give them that level of volume and you get so little in return. The juice ain't worth the squeeze. Well, I want to give you some numbers about the New York Giants. And now I'm putting Isaiah Pacheco on notice. Now we need to come up with something that is the offensive equivalent of barbecue chicken. Because we've got the barbecue chicken sounder for a defensive player, but we don't have a sounder like that for the offense. These are the numbers so far for the New York Giants against the run. They're the third worst team so far through the first 2 games. They have allowed 355 yards. Washington ran for 220. Dallas ran for 135. The Giants defense is giving up 5.9 yards per rush attempt. 5.9. If the Chiefs cannot run the football successfully against this team, I'm pressing code red. Not about the team, I'm pressing it about the offense. I'm pressing it about the running game. There is no reason why you shouldn't be able to run the football against this team. That's what I'm saying. I'm pressing the button when you were talking about them doing that against this team. Now, I know they've spent a lot of resources, a lot of big-time money on that defensive line, and they got Dexter Lawrence, they got Abdul Carter. I mean, they certainly have a lot of names and guys that you've heard of. I mean, I just saw last week Javonte Williams, 18 carries, 97 yards, and a touchdown against them. If you want to go back to week 1, ran all over the Giants defense. There's no reason, none. You cannot create a reason to me why Isaiah Pacheco, Kareem Hunt, Elijah Mitchell, Brashard Smith, you cannot create a scenario to me in which those guys cannot be effective, why the Chiefs can't be balanced, why the Chiefs cannot be effective running the football against a team right now that has given up 180 yards a game and almost 6 yards per attempt. You cannot sell me why they won't be able to run the football on Sunday night against the Giants. Everybody else has been able to do it.
I mean, the fact the Commanders had 220. Now, some of that's because, you know, Jaden Daniels is a great running quarterback, although he has less rushing yards this year than Patrick Mahomes. But it's just, if we are having the same conversations about Isaiah Pacheco and Elijah Mitchell and Kareem Hunt on Monday, it might be one of those things you just throw your hands up and it ain't getting better. Like, at a certain point, if you can't run against this team, you can't really run against anyone because this team is him. They're giving a 5.9 yards per attempt to opponents. Basically, when the opponent hands the ball off, they get 6 yards right off the jump against the Giants. maybe not 6, but the Chiefs can't have another 2.8. It can't.
And it's just also it's the who have done it. So for Washington, it was Ja'Cory Croskett-Merritt.
Bill.
I'm going to be real with you guys. I don't know who that is. I'm serious. I don't know who that is. Rob, what school did he go to? You and I watch a lot of college football. What school did Ja'Cory Croskett-Merritt go to? Do you know?
I just know that his nickname is Bill. That's all I know about Ja'Cory.
He went to Arizona. He was a 5th-round pick in this year's NFL draft. He was picked 245. Right out of the gate, he ran for 82 yards against them. Shocking. Against a real team in Green Bay, he got 17 yards rushing. So shocking when they played a real defense. For the Cowboys, Javonte Williams, 18 carries, 97 yards. I could see if they had gone up against Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, one of those types. No. They've been letting dudes who ain't even on people's fantasy teams get going against them. There ain't no reason why the Chiefs shouldn't be able to run the football effectively. None. And if we're having this conversation on Monday where the Chiefs ran it 14 times for 37 yards against this Giants team, okay, we got to continue to have these conversations about the run game and what's going on.
Let me ask you this. Is this the first time this season that we can go into a game feeling pretty confident Patrick Mahomes will not be the leading rusher? Because if we are on Monday talking about, hey, Mahomes rushed for, 84 yards, that's also a problem. I know those 84 yards count, but this has to be Pacheco. This has to be Hunt, Brashard Smith. Like, maybe they make Elijah Mitchell active. That'd be a fun change of pace. Maybe he can run. We can not only the run game, just period. We can't be talking about Mahomes being a running quarterback on Monday. He needs to be a 41-year-old Peyton Manning. The only running he's doing is handing the ball off. It cannot be Mahomes on Monday. It can't be.
I'm with you. I mean, you and I agree. You and I are on the same page.
And I hate running backs, and I agree with you.
Yeah, you and I are on the same page. They should run the football effectively against the New York Giants. There's no reason for them not to run the football successfully against the New York Giants. It will not make sense to me if they cannot run the football against the New York Giants. It will make absolutely no sense at all. If you guys missed it, we played this earlier in the week. Here's Dan Orlowski. Here he is talking about what his concern is for the Chiefs offense.
What would give me confidence? Patrick? That's it. That's the only thing right now that they're doing well. I would argue that Travis has actually played pretty well. I know everyone's like, oh my gosh, they're dropping the end zone, blah, blah, blah. I think Travis has done good things. Other than that, the offensive line is poor. So, is that just going to get fixed? No. Even Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey, who have been very good players, they're not playing up to their standard level. The receivers aren't getting open. I know the receivers that are going to get healthy or back from suspension are going to be different, but when does that actually happen? And that necessarily wasn't a dominant thing when it was going on. The tight ends can't block in the run game. The backs are struggling with their vision. They're losing at the point of attack. Patrick leads the team in rushing. Patrick leads the NFL in quarterbacks running. Patrick had 88% of their offense against the Chargers and 81% of their offense against the Eagles. So it's like he's the only one doing something. So at some point, there's going to have to be something that happens in this offense or someone that makes me go, all right, I see it. I can see that evolution being a trademark pillar of their offense through 2 weeks.
If you go back to last week's game against the Cowboys, now it's understandable. The Cowboys scored 40 points in that game. If you've heard of them on the Cowboys, the Giants didn't stop them. Javonte Williams ran for 97 yards. CeeDee Lamb had 9 catches for 112 yards. Jake Ferguson had 78 yards. George Pickens had 70 yards receiving and scored a touchdown. If you've heard of them on the Cowboys, they got active last week. They were really good this week. This could be a get-right game for Kansas City's offense to get going here, play with some momentum, get some guys back healthy. I know Xavier Worthy is questionable. I think he's going to play. We'll find out what Nate thinks here coming up in 20 minutes when he joins us in studio. We'll find out about Jalen Royals if he thinks those guys are going to play. We just saw this team get exploited on defense last week. They didn't run the football very effectively last week. Last week, it was Russell Wilson having a game for the ages. Neighbors was good. Wan'Dale Robinson was good. Darius Slayton was good. And they didn't really do a whole lot else if you are the New York Giants. Control the line of scrimmage with your front four. force a turnover, create pressure. The Chiefs should win this game against the New York Giants. Coming up in about 20 minutes, Nate Taylor is going to join us in studio. Coming up on the other side, we'll get you ready for week 3. We'll go through some of the storylines on Sunday in the NFL. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Don't you just love an NFL Sunday? You got your boys, your couch, your snacks, your favorite games, and FanDuel is sprinkling in something a little bit extra. This isn't just a normal NFL Sunday. It's your chance to place that perfect parlay or hit your favorite go-to player prop, and they're making it even better at FanDuel because they're bringing the bonuses. That's right. All customers can get a 50% profit boost on any NFL bet. So however you play your game, FanDuel's got your back when it comes to putting a little extra into your account because that's what Sundays should feel like. Visit FanDuel.com. Use my promo code KFNZ to download the app and get in on the action right before kickoff. And remember, FanDuel is an official sports betting partner of 96.5 The Fan and also the NFL. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable profit boost. Tokens restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Get out with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit kansasgamblinghelp.com.
Whether you're looking for a Bronco, an Explorer, an F-150, or even a commercial vehicle, Robside Ford has the selection.
That's right, Kevin. We've got it all. And we've got the lowest prices in Kansas City. No gimmicks, just great deals on every new Ford.
And it's not just inventory, it's how you do business. Robside Ford makes it very simple.
We do it different on purpose. Non-commissioned sales team, upfront transparent pricing, top dollar trade-in values, and a process that's actually easy.
You've even got the reputation to back it up, Bobby. Kansas City's only top-rated Ford dealer on Google. 4.8 stars, 3,000 reviews. Wow.
And this year, we're proud to be voted Best Car Dealership in KC by Kansas City Magazine.
So if you're ready for a better car buying experience,
come see us at 135th and State Line or check us out at robsight.com.
From Broncos to F-150s to work trucks, Robside Ford has what you need.
If you want simple and easy, you're not going to find a better spot.
Robside Ford. Buy right. Drive happy.
GimmeTheVin.com's big cash giveaway. I hate games and scams. So when we had the idea to give away $25,000, I was very careful about the way it was orchestrated. Get the top of the market money and enter to be the lucky person to get $25,000. This is no joke. This is no game. This is very real. Just like GimmeTheVin.com.
No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Dane Hughes here. I've seen a lot of stat lines in my playing days, but these numbers, they caught my attention. Flight by Yingling. 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, and all the crisp, refreshing flavor you want in a light beer. It's brewed by the oldest brewery in America, so you know it's got some serious history behind it. If you're into stats and taste, you're going to love this beer. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer and the official beer of Dane and Hughes. DG Yingling & Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
With great deals coming this Prime Big Deal Days, October 7th and 8th, greatness is a deal away. So if you love baking, you can get a deal on a new mixer, transforming you into the Lord of the Loaves.
Hear ye! Make way for the baron of brioche, the sultan of sourdough, the Lord of the Loaves, Prime Member Dave!
Yeah, hi?
Get up to 40% off with Prime Big Deal Days, October 7th and 8th.
Tulsa is my home now. Academy Award nominee Sylvester Stallone stars in the Paramount Plus original series, Tulsa King. This distillery is a very interesting business. And we gotta know the enemy. From Taylor Sheridan, co-creator of Landman. What are you saying? I'm a rat! If you think you're gonna take me out, it's gonna be really difficult. Tulsa King, new season streaming September 21st, exclusively on Paramount Plus.
For more than half a century, contractors and trade professionals have relied on WeatherGuard for heavy-duty truck and van storage equipment, not just to protect their tools, but to protect their professional reputations. Whether it's inside or outside of work vehicles, a WeatherGuard badge means pros can trust that their hard-earned name is in good hands. Since 1968 and every day since, WeatherGuard has been protecting anything it takes to build a professional reputation. WeatherGuard, established in 1968, proven every day. WeatherGuard.com.
If you could hear Old Spice Fiji Antiperspirant, what would it sound like? First, you'd start with Fiji Antiperspirant's amazing scent of palm trees. Add pure notes of fresh coconut and layer on 24/7 odor and sweat protection. You won't hear any dyes or parabens because with Fiji, you won't have any. So while your regular antiperspirant sounds like this, Old Spice Fiji sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
The technicians you can trust with your house keys. Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
Stay comfortable year-round with fast, reliable service 24/7, even weekends and holidays. Already invested in repairs? Save up to $4,500 on a new HVAC system. Schedule today at AnthonyPHCE.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Delays building through downtown, eastbound 670 past 35. It looks like a tie-up in the left lane. We're backing on to northbound 35 from about the entrance from Broadway, slowly pushing back to the state line. If you're traveling through Northland, eastbound 152 highway past 29. Accident in the left lane with a 15-minute delay. Amy Laura, 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
All right, coming up at the top of the hour, Nate Taylor of ESPN is going to join us on the show. Before that, why don't we take a closer look at some of the most important storylines in the National Football League as we head into Week 3. Rob, hit me!
Carrington, let's start our Sunday stories in the AFC West. I am not talking about the Chiefs. I'm talking about the massive divisional tilt between the Denver Broncos and the undefeated Los Angeles Chargers. Carrington, there was a time you were Charger dot. That time is come and gone. But do you think the Chargers with the win have put a stranglehold on the AFC West just 3 weeks into the season?
Who said that has come to an end? If there was ever a time to hop back on the Chargers bandwagon, I mean, you guys have called me Chargers dot for years now. Why don't I just lean completely into it? They got a home game against the Broncos. They've looked better than the Broncos so far this season. I cannot believe the Broncos lost that game to the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, that game was right there. It's been a while since I've seen a team have a win and then just say, no, we're good. Why don't we take that win and why don't we turn it into a loss? Such a disappointment. I think the Chargers, I think they're a team to be reckoned with in the AFC. Just look at this schedule. I think it opens yourself up to it. Home game against the Broncos, on the road against the Giants, home game against Washington, on the road against Miami. Now, knock on wood, maybe the Chargers charger this thing, but I'm telling you, if you are disregarding the Chargers, I think you're being dishonest with yourself. I think the Chargers have clearly proven that they are at least the fourth best team in the AFC, and we'll see at the end of the season if they can enter that conversation of the big three that has dominated the conference for the last 18 months.
Speaking of the Kansas City Chiefs, or at least the Kansas City Chiefs opponent, their opponent last week, the Philadelphia Eagles, are 2-0. They are taking on the 2-0 Los Angeles Rams, but that is not the conversation on what is the possibly best game of the weekend.
No, because that shouldn't be the conversation, because who came in here and told you that the Rams were going to be good this year? I told you that, and you know what happened? You scoffed at me like you usually do. That's what you love to do, scoff.
They've beaten the Texans and they beat the Titans.
Jared Scoff, that's what I'm going to start calling you.
Texans and Titans, are those even NFL wins? That's like beating Wagner and Robert Morris. It doesn't count.
That's crazy.
But that is not the biggest story of that 2-0 game, Carrington. Reports are the officials will more closely monitor how the Tush push is handled. Could this week be the end of the Tush push as we know it, because the officials are going to be way more locked in on this play with Eagles and Rams?
I mean, the NFL, they always do this. If there's one thing the NFL loves to do, it's talk tough during the week and then do none of it once the week happens. Remember when sportsmanship was going going to be a big deal. Then I saw a player punch Travis Kelce, and then we don't care about sportsmanship anymore. So, yes, it sounds really good. Oh, we got to tighten up on this play. You haven't been able to stop them from running this play or running it successfully for the last 3 seasons. Why do I now think that now you're going to have some eagle eye when it comes to this play? Cut the noise. This is like when somebody has a resolution and they do it for the first 3 weeks of January, and then when February gets back here, they're back to their old eating habits. It's like when you tell yourself that you're going to read 12 books this year. You read 1 book and you never go back to the library. Stop it. I don't believe that the NFL is committed to doing this. They are going to let the owners deal with the tush push, not the referees.
Speaking of 2-0 games, a surprise 2-0 tilt on Sunday. The 2-0 Niners, who might have Brock Purdy back,
a surprise.
Take on the 2-0 Cardinals.
Oh, that's a surprise.
That's a surprise. Now, I will say, scheduled game with them also. They've played the Saints and the Panthers. That's definitely FCS
2
opponents.
big-time wins.
Do you believe the
Call
Cardinals...
them FCS opponents.
Do you believe the Cardinals will keep cruising along, or have the rising competition going to bump them down as they take on the Niners?
I will say this. It ain't good when Notre Dame has played a tougher schedule than you've played so far in the beginning of the season. Nebraska's had a tougher schedule than you guys. That ain't good. The football gods cannot let Kyler Murray have a good weekend. No, they cannot let him have a good weekend. I saw the line. It's Niners minus 2.5 at the crib. I know they got Mac Jones, but you don't have to change your offense a whole lot with Mac Jones than you did with Brock Purdy. I think we're reading reports that Purdy could potentially play in this game. He was practicing, so who knows what the plan ends up being. Yes, give me the Niners. Give me the minus 2.5. I love it.
It is. I mean, Notre Dame's schedule is light years better than the Cardinals' schedule. Saints and Panthers.
No, for sure.
Remember when you had the Panthers as a playoff team? Boy, that was funny. Moving on.
Why do you guys got to bring up old stuff? That's what I don't like. Why
it's
do you
week
have to
2. It's not old yet. It's still fresh. It's still in people's minds.
I was wrong. I was wrong.
Speaking of Heisman quarterbacks, going from Bryce Young to Jaden Daniels, he is out this week. He will not play as the Commanders are taking on the Las Vegas Raiders.
Did I not tell you about the Commanders? I might have been early on the Commanders. I tried to tell you boys about the Commanders, and nobody went to listen to me.
Marcus Mariota. Wow, speaking of Heisman winners, just bing, bing, bing.
No, he's still in the league.
He will be starting on Sunday for the Commanders.
Marcus Mariota still playing football?
He is the starter this week in the NFL game.
Oh, my goodness.
He is starting against his old coach, offensive coordinator, Chip Kelly for the Raiders.
You know how bad quarterback plays got to be in the league? When we saw Marcus Mariota quit on a Netflix show, and he's still been in the league since then. He quit on the Falcons. That guy's still in the league 4 years later? They really can't find good quarterbacks in the NFL.
What happens if he wins on Sunday against the Raiders? That say more about the Raiders or about the Commanders?
No, it doesn't say anything about the Washington Commanders. I mean, they got a good roster. Where is this game at again?
I believe this game is in Washington.
Short week, going across the country for the Raiders.
But Marcus Mariota.
Is a good one.
Who Chiefs fans know is also an elite wide receiver.
To see, I don't know why you had to do that. Why you had to pick at him like that. I'm going to pick the Raiders to win. You know I was high on the Raiders at the very beginning of the season. I think Geno cleans up some of the mistakes that he made on Monday Night Football. I think the Raiders go on the road and steal another one.
Our final story to monitor on Sunday, Carrington, outside of Kansas City and New York. Just going to check all the Heisman boxes in this segment, because Caleb Williams, the 0-2 Bears, are headed to the game of the week to take on the Dallas Cowboys. They are a 1.5-point dog headed to Dallas. Carrington, everyone was excited. We got Ben Johnson pairing up with Caleb Williams. It has not been exciting for the first 2 weeks.
The Bears just might be cursed as an organization.
Are they going to get right against the Cowboys, or are they going to fall to 0-3 and it's more of the same from Chi-Town?
What right now about the way that the Bears are playing would make you think that they're on the verge of getting right?
They're facing Matt Eberflus.
I think the Cowboys have proven they're maybe better than people thought they would be. I told you this at the beginning of the season. A healthy Dak Prescott, the Cowboys are pretty competitive. Now, they probably won't win that division. They're not winning a Super Bowl, but a healthy Dak Prescott with those weapons and their run game is a little bit better than people thought. The Cowboys have been a very competitive team. They played the Eagles very close. I think that game was actually really, really back and forth. before the weather delay in week 1. And we just saw them in a slugfest against the Giants last week. Yeah, I'm taking the Cowboys in this one. The Cowboys are a better team, better organization. They have more talent than the Bears. Give me the Cowboys.
I mean, I don't think anyone in good faith can pick the Bears this week. It might be Ben Johnson divorces Caleb Williams by the end of year 1. It's been bad.
The only person that's taking the Bears is Danny Parkins. Nobody else is taking the Bears this week. Not a single living soul is taking the Bears this week. Coming up on the other side, we'll be joined by Nate Taylor of ESPN. We'll get his thoughts on Xavier Worthy. We'll get his thoughts on Jalen Royals. We'll get his thoughts on the Chiefs starting 0-2. That's coming up. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison. Watch the show on YouTube by subscribing to the 965 YouTube channel. The Drive, brought to you by DM Entry Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Entry Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5, The Fan. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Entry Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Entry Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Delays building through downtown, eastbound 670 past 35. It looks like a tie-up in the left lane. We're backing on to northbound 35 from about the entrance from Broadway, slowly pushing back to the state line. If you're traveling through Northland to eastbound 152 highway past 29, accident in the left lane with a 15-minute delay. Amy Laura, 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Paid for client portrayal and endorsement. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Give me one good reason why I should call DM Law.
How about 3 great reasons? 1, it's easy. 2, it's fast. 3, the results.
Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
What's up, guys? It's Drew. You know, we're looking ahead to the start of the football season. It is that time of year. These players all have to be at their very best and ready to perform at the highest level when it matters most. Blue Chew provides access to chewable tablets that can help you feel and perform at your best. Stronger, harder, longer lasting, like someone gave your downstairs a pep talk and a gym membership. Blue Chew is the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex. Be more confident where it counts. You'll have flashbacks to your glory days. Date nights just got longer and better for everyone because showing up matters during life's most exciting moments. Guys, this isn't just about performance. Give her group chat something to talk about. Nothing makes you more of a legend than a little Blue Chew. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. There's a special offer there for you. Get your first month of Blue Chew free. Just use the promo code KFNZ at checkout and cover $5 for shipping. That's it. Go to BlueChew.com and get your first month free. Then you'll be ready to chew it and do it.
This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, where we've successfully treated thousands of men for low testosterone and helped them feel like their old selves again. Please take a moment and listen to how we help this patient.
Hi, this is Doug. I'm a patient with Heartland Men's Health. I've been doing low T treatment for just under a year now. I've always dedicated my life to work. I've always found the time to go to gym. I'm 46 years old. My energy level has been on a roller coaster. With work, when we would have like long, stressful meetings, I would notice that I was very exhausted and drained afterwards. And with the low T treatment, I'm not as stressed. I started to feel a lot more level-headed. The roller coaster kind of went away. I think Heartland Men's Health, they really have it figured out. The professional staff, I think it's a wonderful treatment for men of any age. And it's definitely a benefit I'm going to continue.
Thank you. It's true. Your initial appointment includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Monday's a huge day at Hy-Vee. Not only is Hy-Vee always finding new ways to save me money, like new lower prices in every department, on top of that, I save so much money at the pump with Hy-Vee's awesome fuel saver deals. Monday, that's the day, September 22nd, you're going to earn a 40-cent per gallon fuel discount with every $60 grocery purchase. So you can stock up for fall fun and stack up those fuel savings as well. I love seeing the price roll back at the pump, only at Hy-Vee.
It's game day, and nothing says Chiefs football like the aroma of a tailgate grill. Kick off your pregame party with a Kingdom Meat Bundle from Hy-Vee. Get 4 boneless chicken breasts, 4 pork chops, 4 bratwurst, and 4 chuck patties for just $30. Plus, get a 10-cent per gallon fuel saver. Toss in some chips and dip, side dishes, and Chiefs-themed baked goods. Score the extra point with your favorite tailgate beverage from Hy-Vee Wine and Spirit. Just one stop for all your game day needs, only at Hy-Vee.
Tired of paying big city prices? Head to New Century Ram, Jeep, Dodge, and Powella, where honest, good people are ready to help you save. No fancy city overhead, just real savings. Looking for a new Ram, Jeep, or Dodge? Or maybe a quality used vehicle? Their selection is online and ready to browse. And the best part? New Century is only a 20-minute drive south of the city. And you can save thousands just by coming down. New Century Ram, Jeep, Dodge. Remember, you'll always pay less than Powella, and always deal with good people you can trust.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Raise your glass to the start of Oktoberfest and keep it raised for our authentic Stein hoisting competition. Round up your crew and join in on Fridays throughout September, starting at 6 p.m. for the chance to win weekly prizes and Sam Adams swag.
Sports brought to you by the Salvation Army and registertoring.com.
Make it a tradition. Grab your friends or family and ring bells together for the Salvation Army. Just 2 hours can change lives this holiday season. Sign up today at registertoring.com. That's registertoring.com.
Hey, it's Trey Smith. The Chiefs Radio Network pregame show starts 3 hours before kickoff right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. 4 o'clock on Friday can only mean one thing. From St. Joe to Sao Paulo to Santa Clara, he's there every step of the way. And nobody knows the Chiefs like Nate Taylor.
They will move Joe Tooney to left tackle.
Now of ESPN, join CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
We got Nate Taylor here. Nate Taylor, he used to work at The Athletic. He does not work there anymore. Now he works for ESPN. Nate, let's just dive right into it. You know where this first question is going to go. What's the status of Xavier Worthy? Do you feel like he is going to play? What's the status of Jalen Royals? Do you feel like he is going to play on Sunday Night Football?
Yeah, so both guys practiced this week. We knew about Xavier Worthy wanting to play in Sunday's game against the Eagles, but for precautionary reasons, they held him out. So as far as I know, it's trending towards Xavier Worthy being available, and then it comes down to a question of how effective can he be early? How does that shoulder hold up in terms of, protecting yourself against contact? I'm not really sure on Jalen Royals. It'd be nice if they had him. I don't know how much of this is kind of like what occurred with Omar Norman Lott, where he missed the season opener in Sao Paulo, but he was, with the team, and then he obviously made his NFL debut this past week. So I don't know if they'll do a similar thing with Jalen Royals, where it's like, hey, you practiced this week, got a feel for what you could do. Now we can integrate you more into the, the game plan going into week 4 against the Baltimore Ravens. So as of right now, I would say Xavier Worthy is expected to play. And I'm not really sure if Jalen Royals is going to be in uniform or not.
You know this team as well as anybody. You're around them every day. Are you surprised at what you've seen so far? I think we knew, at least when Xavier Worthy went down, they were going to have to cobble together some things offensively. I am a little surprised that we're heading into week 3 for a must-win, very important game.
Yeah.
I've noted this. This is probably the first regular season game that you would say the Chiefs had to win since that Thursday night football game against the Chargers a few years back. Remember that game was for the division.
Oh, yeah, 2021.
Kelsey had the game-winning touchdown. That was the last time where I felt like you went into it thinking, all right, you have to win this regular season game. They've put themselves back up against the wall in week 3 against the Giants.
Man, they really have. So this is as close to a must-win game as you can have, in September. I am surprised by a couple things when it comes to like what we've seen from the team so far. Because, as a reporter, especially when you've been doing it for a decent amount of time, you're always questioning, okay, what am I seeing in July and August from training camp that I really know is going to translate to the field? That's going to be representative of what this team is when they actually play an opponent, in front of fans and television cameras and all that. Over the last few years, we've gotten farther and farther away from, okay, what I saw in July and August is what's showing up early in the season. You can even include that into last year, just on how poor the defense was to start the year. And now, because of injuries yet again at the receiver position, obviously there's the Rashee Rice suspension involved as well. It's almost like, did anything that they did in training camp really matter on offense outside of trying to get as much development and as many reps for Josh Simmons and Kingsley Suamataia on the left side of the offensive line? I'm surprised that the offensive line hasn't been as good in terms of run blocking. I think the game plans have been plenty to leave, to be desired. Mostly because, and I don't know how much you talked about this in Monday's show, I can't remember, but because the Eagles didn't blitz them in the Super Bowl, it just appears like in the first half that they never even thought that the Eagles were going to blitz them in Sunday's game. And it's like, well, Mahomes used to be excellent against the blitz. So why are they so bad at the blitz? Were they not prepared for that? Some of the route combinations and route distribution's been a bit funky looking. We all know about the secondary communication issues in the first game. Again, I don't know how you can have a lack of intensity, fire, effort to start the season in Sao Paulo. Like, it's the first game of the season. They're like, Andy Reid does not need to motivate you guys, or he shouldn't need to motivate you guys. It's a divisional team, and you're playing on a pretty, interesting stage as the, team that's been to the Super Bowl the past 3 years. Like, you should be more than ready to play when the season starts, even if you have an injury to a guy like Xavier Worthy. So there's a lot of things that I'm surprised about. And I think what has to be disorienting for the coaching staff and even for some players is, what the hell did we do in St. Joseph for a month, Carrington, that really holds up to what we've put on tape these last 2 weeks?
Yeah, I read a quote that someone said, this doesn't look like a team that spent a month in training camp. And I was wondering how much of that is injuries, how much of that is just timing being off because of those injuries.
Yeah.
This has been the thing that has disappointed me the most, and I want to get specifically about the run game, but I guess kind of honing in on this. The Chiefs have spent so many of their resources on the offensive or defensive line.
Yep.
They don't look like they have a top 5 offensive line. They don't look like they have a top 5 defensive line. You would have won one of those 2 games had you sort of gotten what you paid for.
Yeah.
That we can blame the running backs. We can blame play calling. We can blame any of those things. Man, you spent a lot of money on center, a lot of money on right guard, a lot of money on right tackle. They have the 3rd highest ranked left tackle on Pro Football Focus. Chris Jones, we think, is going to Canton. You just gave George Karlaftis $70 million. You brought back Charles Omenihu. They should be winning battles up front, and they're not winning them up front. And I think that has created some of the other problems that we see for their team.
Yes, and because, those are probably the 2 most concerning things, because those don't have any, unexplained, unforeseen sort of things that have happened since training camp began. Like, we knew what the rotation was. The only difference, I think, and we didn't know how much he was going to be a factor, but the only difference between the start of training camp and where we are now is Felix Enidike-Uzama is on injured reserve because of a hamstring injury that he had in, week 2 of the preseason. So he's the only guy you remove from the list. It was positive to see Omar Norman-Lott have his sack, bring some intensity. I know the Chiefs have been, pretty pleasantly surprised with some of the effort and stuff they've seen out of Ashton Gelati. But, Mike Dana's not going to play on Sunday because he's already hurt. Well, he was ineffective at times last year because he was injured. The Eagles made it real simple. Let's just double team Chris Jones and see if anybody can beat us one-on-one. And for the most times, that didn't happen. With the offensive line, okay, I could give a little bit of I could try to teach patience because it's Kingsley Suamataia 3rd game at left guard, and it's Josh Simmons' 2nd game ever in the NFL. So you'd hope by the midway point of the season, like when they play the Buffalo Bills in early November, that the offensive line stays healthy and that it really does gel. It really does come together in terms of, hey, you've seen a bunch of unscouted looks. You've seen twists, stunts, loopers, unscouted looks in terms of blitzes and all that. And of course, Mahomes can guide you guys along the way as you guys get more playing experience together. I give a little bit of patience to the offensive line when it comes to that. What I don't understand is Josh Simmons looks to be like one of the strongest left tackles you could have. Kingsley Suamataia is athletic, so you should be doing screen plays, you should be doing stretches, you should be having combo blocks. We know how good Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith are when you're asking them to go forward. Jawan Taylor, as we talked about last week, cut down the penalties to some degree. But he's actually one of the better pass blocking win rate tackles in the league. So none of this makes sense. But how can these 5 guys not run block as well as you would think based on all of their talent? But perhaps some of that is they have not all played together. The Eagles have a very good defensive line. So do the New York Giants. I don't know if there's hope for the defensive line, Carrington. That's the thing that the more I look at the tape, the more I see like what other teams are doing. Do you want to put Chris Jones on the edge more on third down? I guess. I mean, you could do a combination of Karlaftis, Minihue inside, Omar Norman Lott inside, and Chris Jones on the edge. I mean, I guess you could do that, but that feels pretty desperate to me for week 3.
Right now, we're joined in studio by Nate Taylor of ESPN. Let's talk about the run game. That's been something that I've been very heavy on. I guess let's start with this. Is Isaiah Pacheco done? And I mean done as in 2 years ago, he ran the ball as aggressive as anybody.
Yep.
You remember there was a week where you and the media were just reading memes to him that people said he ran with such an anger, such a violence to it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get any of that right now.
It's not on tape either.
He runs very tentative now, which is just very different. I get it. You broke your leg. But after kind of coming out, he talked about this being a revenge year, contract year.
Mm-hmm.
That lack of explosiveness, I think, has really, really jumped out. How much of their run game struggles do you think is the personnel that they have in that running back room? How much of it is what you just said about this offensive line and struggles to run block?
Yeah, so I know some people have asked on the text line. I think the Chiefs should really get back to under center, get mean, move the pile forward. I don't know if you really want to be doing tosses or traps or counters at this point. Just line up and go, because that's what's been most evident on film is that, hey, if they line up in 2 tight ends, and I know the tight ends haven't been blocking well either, but if you just line up and you're saying, hey, we're going to go off right tackle or we're going to go here in the B gap and we're just going to go forward, then that in some ways simplifies things for Isaiah Pacheco, who appears on tape to, again, to your point, not have the same tenacity, but also it seems like he's thinking a lot too. Like, okay, are the angles there? Am I completely in alignment with the offensive line? What the Eagles did, I thought very well last Sunday was they just shot through the gaps. Like penetration was very key because now, based on tape, it looks a little harder for Pacheco to change directions and pivot and jump cut. That's a little something that Kareem Hunt has a little bit of a smoother process through in terms of his vision and seeing if one hole's not available, okay, I can quickly go to the next, whatever my next sort of progression is on how the offensive line is supposed to block this
He
up.
just doesn't have a second gear. Where like most running backs, like once you kind of get past that first level, there's like that extra giddy up.
No.
There's no extra giddy up with Kareem Hunt.
Well, he's 30. I mean, and he has actually been the more statistically better running back. Now that's not saying much.
It'd be hard to be worse than how Pacheco's playing right now.
Thank you. He is, if you're asking on a down-to-down basis in terms of run blocking, pass protection, running the ball between the tackles, having less stuff plays where you don't get any positive yards. Kareem Hunt's been the better running back so far, but they've given more touches to Isaiah Pacheco because I think they want to see if he can get into a rhythm and get back to his old form. How that happens, I'm not really sure unless you're making it a little bit more simple. We're going off the left tackle of Josh Simmons. He will be helped by either a tight end that will then try to get to the second level, or he'll be helped by Kingsley Suamataia at left guard trying to get to the second level alongside Creed Humphrey. Doing the, out of shotgun zone, GT counters, like it's too slow developing. And then I think the most damning probably the most damning thing about Isaiah Pacheco through these 2 weeks is he has not made anybody miss a tackle. And that's what he was known for. He had very good speed. He could catch the ball well. And because of that tenacious effort, you didn't really want to tackle him. The Eagles had no problems tackling him. Even when he got a couple times to catch the ball on a little dump down in the open field, it's like, okay, is he going to make this guy miss? Is he going to go around him with speed? Is he going to run through him? And he's down. So, the offensive line has to play better because unless you trade for a running back in a month's time, I don't know how different the running backs are going to get when it comes to what you're asking from Kareem Hunt to be a serviceable secondary back. And, I mean, you would think the production only can get better from here for Pacheco, but I don't know if he can get back to those similar heights we saw in 2022 and 2023.
Why is Elijah Mitchell on the team if he can't be healthy in this running back room? Like, if you're telling me that you are inactive for the Chiefs running back room.
Now, here's something that actually I think was shocking in training camp. I know this is an audio medium, ladies and gentlemen. I'm shaking my head, and I'm just like, look, maybe the hamstring, maybe it's too many injuries for Elijah Mitchell.
So why is he around then?
Well, there have been roster issues that you could ask really from the end of the third preseason game. Now, why is, I've asked myself this, who's been more valuable if they were elevated to the active roster, Carson Steele or Elijah Mitchell? I would think Carson Steele, especially if you want to get a fullback on the field to help give your running back a little bit more time in terms of setting up a block and then, again, hitting the running lane moving forward, especially on short yardage situations. I know they did convert on the 4th and 1 right before the Kelsey interception, which was Pacheco and Hunt on the field at the same time. Hunt was the halfback in that formation. I thought it was a very shrewd signing to get Elijah Mitchell because he comes from that Shanahan one cut, get upfield. Okay, he can work with zone blocking. I know that he had shown kind of like Jared McKinnon, not the same player, but like, hey, this is a very smart player who can catch the ball, who has decent speed, decent wiggle to him, veteran, and it never materialized in training camp. And they tried to showcase him in the last preseason game, in my opinion, to see if anybody would sniff, because it was very clear at that time that the Chiefs were looking to try to add a running back to the position in addition to Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco. None of that happened, so he's here just by default. But I don't know when he's going to be in uniform anytime soon. If you're asking me, ladies and gentlemen, I would elevate Carson Steele, who can help you on special teams and can be a traditional fullback if that's what you want to bring to the running concepts under center, more downhill running style of football.
Right now, we're joined in studio by Nate Taylor. I do want to go back just a little bit to talk about Week 2's game against Philadelphia. What was the conversation in the press box for the Tush push? It's been such a national conversation for the last 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
All of you guys are there. I mean, this was the biggest game of the week in the NFL. Got 33 million people. So, I mean, it kind of was a who's who of NFL media that was in town.
Yep.
You guys had to be talking about it in the press box. What was the thought process? What was the thoughts going on about the Tush push?
What was so fascinating, and I'm glad you actually mentioned this, is it was from the press box, guys, at Arrowhead Stadium. We are above all the fans. So we have the actual, I like to call it the all 22 in live version. Like, I can see everybody on the field. So it's a really good viewpoint to see how plays are set up. The Tush push, as we all know, is very boring, but it was very noticeable from the press box. Where is the football? Where's the line of scrimmage? I think there was one play where early in the game, I think they may have gotten either Chris Jones or George Karlaftis. I should look this up, but they said he was offsides because his hand was in the neutral zone, essentially. And you're like, okay, all right. I mean, and then you go back and you watch it, whatever, on the TV feed, and you're like, judgment call, I get it. Well, once it got to the second half, and I know Tom Brady mentioned this as well, not just the guards moving, which, again, you can see that from wherever you're sitting, wherever you were sitting at in Arrowhead, but it's hard to know where the ball is. That's where it becomes, like, even more ridiculous. It's like, well, there's no other play in the NFL where you don't know where the ball is. Like, the centers basically swallowed the football, and then he just hey, just move forward real quick with me. So no, it was very clear that, like, we see things. I guess the broadcast is like on a maybe 1 to 2 second delay. So like, I can see Andy Reid from the press box getting closer and closer and closer to the line judge or trying to get the referee's attention to say like, hey, like, are they moving? Do you see this? Like, do you have eyes? But it's also like, well, could someone, are we keeping it fair? Like if, and thank you for the text line. Someone said, I guess it was a Minihue who was offsides, where it's like, but the center's offsides. So it's like, so what are we doing? It's a boring play. It's a less aesthetic pleasing play that there's ever been in the NFL. I used to get somewhat bored as a kid when they would just line up in I formation and it'd be 3 yards in a cloud of dust. But hey, at least you're trying to move the ball forward in a more traditional manner. Now I grow to love the I formation because or the jumbo package, because that looks like actual football, actual blocking scheme. Okay, are we going through the ABC gap? Or, where are the angles coming from? This seems to be something that was, I think, one of the more difficult parts of being in the press box, where it's just like, well, we know they're getting it. That's the other thing, too. Like, no one's questioning that the Eagles are going to get this first down. But how can this play look so foreign to any other play that we've seen in a very competitive game that I thought was going to go back and forth, when Kelsey was open and, if he catches the football, the Chiefs, I think at the time would have had, a 17-13 lead. So that would have given Jalen Hurts a chance to sort of respond. And I'm assuming, Mahomes would have had another chance to maybe close out the game. So it was setting up to be a really awesome week 2 game where both teams clearly don't like one another. But because they ran the tush push, 4 times in the second half, it becomes where it's just, it cheapens the product, and everybody can understand that, what is the snap on? Is it on 1? Is it on 2? Or is it just we go, you go? We'll always have the advantage because we go first.
Right now, we're joined in studio by Nate Taylor, just getting his thoughts on the Chiefs at 0-2, and we'll also continue to look ahead to Sunday Night Football. What was the tone, the mood this week? Because we asked Pat, hey, do you consider this to be a must-win game? And his tone was, well, it's not a postseason game. Those are the only games that I consider it to be must-win. I understand why the Chiefs are not I understand why there could be that lack of urgency as opposed to what we're talking about for a playoff game. I mean, 3 teams last year started 0-2. Those teams made the postseason last year.
Yep.
But if you look at what it means to start 0-3, you're also going on the road. You're going against a team that scored 37 points last week. You're going up against a team that really has nothing to lose in this.
Correct.
Like, there are a lot of things here where, let's say that the Chiefs were 2-0. We'd be calling this a trap game with Baltimore on the other side. Like, that's how we'd be looking at this game.
And I would say, it is a trap game.
That's exactly how we'd be looking at it. Now, it's the opposite end of the spectrum, and now it has to be a must-win game because they've started 0-2. What's been the energy? What's been the demeanor around the team this week for a game that is really, really important to them?
It's a mix. I think it's a mix of them being disappointed, knowing that they were close to beating the Eagles, or at least close to pushing it in a manner where they were going to be in control of the game by the start of the fourth quarter. I cannot overstate enough that if Kelsey catches that football, based on the way the defense was playing on Sunday, the Chiefs can take control of that game and probably squeeze out a close victory. So there's that part of it from like the offensive side. I think the defensive side of the team right now feels like, okay, we found something. How much can we improve on it based on how well our secondary played against A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith? But also, now we can really focus on, okay, Russell Wilson will hold on to the football. We got to get pressure. Steve Spagnuolo does not want to blitz because he has to. He would like to blitz because he wants to. In terms of the must-win sort of doom and gloom over them, they are trying to be a responsible team, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, where, hey, I don't have to tell you that you're better than the Giants. You know you better than the Giants. Hell, the Giants probably know you better than them. What matters now is get back to the attention to detail that has been lacking in these first 2 games. Don't make silly mistakes. If you're a coach on the coaching staff, especially on offense, maybe simplify some things. Even if Worthy comes back, like, simplify it to a degree so that the players can show how much they are more talented than the Giants. If you're the better team, go out there and demonstrate that for the entirety of the game. So in some ways, it's like I want the offense to be more creative, but not to start the game. Just get a first down. Carrington, they've gone 3 and out multiple times in the first quarter of both of these games. They can't let that happen on Sunday. So they don't feel like it's a must-win game, and I totally understand that. But if they lose on Sunday, they're asking for a death wish. They're asking for everyone to put them in the grave and start to actually put dirt on them. I mean, you can't lose this game. And so that's the fun nature of the sport is that, yes, every game week to week is massive, even if it is a trap game, because they all add up in the end. And Mahomes has played very, very well. And I don't even think it's reflective in the statistics, whether it's traditional or advanced. We all know about his scrambling ability and him having to sort of carry the load in a wild manner. But they need a dominant win. They can't go up to MetLife and squeak one out. I really believe that, because that won't have solved or really proven anything. It would have just delayed the we could take a deep breath. Okay, at least we ain't 0-3. Like I think if you're a Chiefs fan, you don't want to leave Sunday night thinking like, well, hey, at least we're not 0-3. You want to go out there and be like, yeah, okay, they actually look focused. They have more attention to detail, and they have proven decisively how much better they are than the Giants. They're a 6-point favorite. And to get that in the NFL in week 3 is pretty significant, when the other team has shown that, hey, they can be competitive against, one of their division opponents.
Let's stay there on the other side, because I want to ask you a question, because Rob also has that opinion. I'm on the other side of that argument. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you what my fear is with Kansas City in the remaining portion of the season. And I didn't get a chance to ask you this last week. I know fans want Tyreek Hill. I'm curious if the Chiefs would want Tyreek Hill back in their locker room. I'm curious to get your thoughts on it. Keep it right here, it's The Drive.
This is Wyatt Thompson from K-State, and you're listening to The Drive with CDOT right here on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Hey, I want to tell you guys about our friends over at The Other Place. They got great game day specials on Sunday night for the Kansas City game. They got a 14-inch 2-topping pizza for $12, or you can get 8 wings and a basket of tots, also for $12. Maybe you're looking for a cold beverage. Well, you can get one with a $4 domestic cup. Today, it's a Red Friday. They got $6 select appetizers. They also got a Busch Light tall boy. And you know Rob, he loves himself a Busch Light. So if you're looking for a place to watch some college football games this weekend, maybe a place to watch a little pro football this weekend, if you want a one-of-a-kind game day experience, an atmosphere that's close to watching the game in the stadium, you want a place that's been making the best pizza in town for the last 25 years, and a place that has locations all across the metro, well, I can tell you where that place is. It's with our friends over at The Other Place.
Your cold is coming. Your cold is coming. When you feel a cold coming, shorten it with Zicam, the #1 cold shortening brand.
Oh, no, not before my big trip.
The big trip you've been planning is coming up, and so is your cold. But Zicam can shorten your cold and get you back to planning sooner.
Thanks, Revere.
We really should keep Zicam in the house.
Shorten your cold with Zicam.
Take it from America's most revered messenger. Shorten your cold at the first sign with cold shortening products from Zicam, the #1 cold shortening brand. Available in stores or see where to buy at Zicam.com.
Ready, set, Ford. That's what Shawnee Mission Ford is all about, bringing meaning to Ready, Set, Ford. Hey, it's Gold. You know I've been driving a new vehicle thanks to my friends over at Shawnee Mission Ford for over a month now, and they offer their customers the largest discounts on every new vehicle, along with aggressive rebates and top trade-in value, and maybe you're looking for a pre-owned vehicle. You're in luck as well with over 100 pre-owned vehicles to choose from at prices and terms well within any budget. Shawnee Mission Ford is on a mission to do more.
Fall is the season for reinvention, and it's easy to do at Macy's Fall Favorite Sale. Come in and find your new favorite styles, like romantic ruffled dresses, chic trenches, cashmere sweaters, and textural fall layers, which are perfect for mixing and matching. All for 20 to 50% off. So if you're looking for your new favorite things, look no further than the Fall Favorite Sale. Today, only at Macy's. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing,
T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Summer's almost over, but the heat is pressing on. If you've got battery trouble, stop by AutoZone for free battery testing. It may just need a charge, and we'll do that for free too. If you do need a battery, we've got options starting at just $89.99. And we'll recycle your old battery for free. Now that's a strong start. Don't miss the end of summer sale. Now at AutoZone until September 22nd.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Sports fans, listen up. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer, and bladder leaks can be a side effect. That's why Depend is teaming up with the Prostate Cancer Foundation to encourage screening. Because health is a long game, and it's yours to win. Now here's the cool part. Through November, Depend is contributing up to $300,000 to prostate cancer research by donating 25 cents for every purchase of Depend shields, guards, and Real Fit products. Void in Mississippi. Learn more at Depend.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Hey, it's Trey Smith from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right. Let me address what we talked about right before the break. I don't care how the Chiefs win this one. I understand what you were saying, that if you're a championship level team, you want to go out, you want to play well, you want to fire on all cylinders.
Yep.
And we can get there. Not when you 0-2. Just figure out how to win. I don't care how they do it. I really don't. I don't care how they do it. Just figure out a way to win this game. That's all I care about for this one. We can talk about style points a little later on in the season. I don't think the Chiefs have the offense that can really run away from somebody right now. Now maybe they win the turnover differential.
That was going to be my helpful point.
If you win the turnover differential 2-0, you set up some short fields, and you can win this game 27-10, and we can be talking about a comfortable victory. But if this game is played straight up and neither team turns the ball over, Kansas City doesn't have an offense that can run away from anybody right now. So it's just going to be a tight game into the fourth quarter because all Chiefs games are tight in the fourth quarter. That's how they are when you have the 21st ranked offense in the National Football League.
It's so true. It's so true. The thing that the Chiefs defense should really be focused on is, and Russell Wilson is capable of giving you one. Obviously, we saw that in overtime against the Cowboys. So, it'd be quite the indictment if the Chiefs go 3 straight games without generating a turnover, right? I mean, they obviously Justin Herbert had all the time in the world to throw it in week 1. They did a great job pressuring Jalen Hurts, so he mostly checked it down until the one deep pass to Devontae Smith. But they got to get a turnover, man, to jumpstart the offense. So That's one way that they can, create some distance on the scoreboard. I know you say it doesn't matter, but I think psychologically, like, something about the season has to change. So doing it sooner rather than later would be great. And I know Andy is going to be somewhat cautious, just given his track record about, hey, Xavier Worthy's never played on this type of injury before. And again, it's a must-win game, and I want to remind people, like, there's still turf at MetLife. You just have to be mindful of that. Especially, I know that mostly deals with like lower body stuff, but again, being tackled, going full speed, on his shoulder, not the biggest guy, of course, we all know. Just be mindful of like the turf playing a factor for this as well. They need something, man, because otherwise on offense, it's Mahomes saying, I got to do it. Get on my back. All right, let me put the cape on. Okay, like, no one's open. It's man-to-man coverage. I guess I'll scramble. Andy didn't make it a big deal, but even he was on the injury report this week, Carrington, which does tell you something like, hey, he's got a little bit of a right wrist. It's not going to be an issue. I've seen Patrick at practice this week. He seems fine. But for a long season, we can't have you being the team's leading rusher. So whether that's getting Kelsey more in the mix, hey, if you're going to use two tight ends, I don't know, actually throw the ball to Noah Gray occasionally when not in desperation mode. They gotta demonstrate that they can dominate a team for the entire game. That's what I would like to see. I think that's what most Chiefs fans want to see. You would rather the Chiefs leave MetLife Stadium with more joy than relief by getting a victory. And Russell Wilson, I don't know if he can replicate what he did last week, just because I think the Chiefs have a better defense than the Cowboys, especially when it comes to pass defense, given the Cowboys' deficiencies at the cornerback position. So I don't know. I mean, get a win, yes, but they need to leave this game feeling better about themselves, and the fastest way they can do that is, I really think, just dominating the Giants from start to finish and not letting the less talented team hang around.
I am thinking this because we just watched Thursday Night Football, and I know we're still ways away from the trade deadline. I don't think anything's happened with Devon Achane. I don't think anything's happening with Tyreek Hill, but I think we all know that this is going to be a conversation in the National Football League in the next 3 weeks. Like, if you look at the Dolphins, they look like a team that's about to fire their head coach, who might be moving on from their starting quarterback and trading pieces off of that team very, very quickly. Do you think the Chiefs would let Tyreek Hill back into their locker room? Because it is obvious that the Chiefs still really liked Kareem Hunt.
Correct.
It is obvious that they still maintained a personal relationship, that they were excited to bring him back.
Yep.
That's a very different relationship than it would appear the one they have with Tyreek Hill. I still think Tyreek, the football player, can absolutely help him. But I think we all know this is your coworker. This is the person that you essentially live with, travel with. You spend a lot of time around. Do you think that the Chiefs want him around anymore?
No. I remember hearing your segment about this however many days ago and completely agreeing with it, because the question I would have is Tyreek Hill going to show the same level of maturity that Kareem Hunt did before he ever put the uniform back on, right? I know this was part of the Kingdom documentary, and, obviously I wrote about it and reported on it, but, Kareem was someone who understood what was going to be required for him to come back to the team based on how he left. Tyreek has his own set of, interesting parameters, not only the contract, which I don't even know if we can get to that point, just because you'd have to really, really, really wait, I think, for the deadline to make that deal happen. And even then you might need help from the Dolphins.
And you also probably need some help from Tyreek. Kind of like what happened with Devontae Adams. Like, Devontae Adams restructured some money around to help the Jets acquire him.
And again, I don't like what about Tyreek Hill says that at this point. Like, I don't know.
Losing's funny, though. You know how it is. Losing is funny, especially when you're used to either A, winning, or B, putting up big numbers. This would be one thing if Tyreek was putting up big numbers and he was everybody's favorite fantasy player and all those things. You are losing, and you are kind of forgotten now in the league. They don't talk about you at receiver anymore. We moved on to Neighbors and these guys. Like, when you moved on to those other people, and now you're kind of the old guy that's 30 years old, and we're not talking about you anymore.
Well, I hope you can advise this man, because, you know, I don't know. Again, one of the more fascinating parts about last season was you knew that was the best you were going to get out of Kareem Hunt, because he was maximizing every bit of the redemptive opportunity that he never thought was going to come. And the Chiefs didn't anticipate it happening. But, of course, like you said, there were relationships throughout the organization that Kareem still had in contact with. I don't know how many guys Tyreek even talks to, and I don't know how Andy would appreciate it, considering like what the Chiefs have been trying to do ever since they traded him away, which is get younger at the position, get guys who were good and durable, but weren't necessarily the same personality type. You know, that's why you have Hollywood Brown. That's why you have Rashee Rice. That's why you have Xavier Worthy. Like, again, none of those guys have even played an NFL snap together. So we'll even see if that happens in November, right? With, you know, Hollywood staying healthy, you know, Xavier coming back into the mix, and then Rashee coming off the suspension. There's a lot of interesting parts when it comes to a Tyreek potential trade. I just know that he would not be the savior. You cannot think that, like, oh, just because we're trading Tyreek Hill, he's going to be the savior and the whole offense is going to open up. It's going to be like fireworks again. I don't know if that's necessarily true based on what we've done seen in these two games on tape. I would be more interested, and I know people on the text line are saying, well, what about Waddle? Well, Waddle is still the younger player. You would more than likely keep him.
Waddle ain't cheap either.
He is not. Now, Devon Achane, now we talking. If I were the Chiefs, and I'm not saying that I'm not reporting this, guys, I can't tell you what's going to happen in the next month.
I don't think you're going to Achane for less than a third.
Hey.
For anybody, not just the Chiefs. I would be surprised if Devon Achane got traded for less than a third-round pick.
I'm calling you and I'm bugging you about a fourth every day. Maybe a fourth and a sixth. I don't care. I'll give you 2 picks. Like, you know, I would be, if I was in that front office, I would be bugging the Miami Dolphins about Achane, because he can catch the ball. He can clearly route you up from the perimeter. He is explosive, running between the tackles. Very durable for his size. He would fit this offense really, really well. And it would be just another way for them to get to the screen games and the quick outs and the swing passes where it's one-on-one. You're going to make a guy miss in the open field on the perimeter. You know, hey, you maybe could run better from the shotgun if you had Devon Achane. So I think he would be the one that you would circle more so than Tyreek Hill, even though it is naturally – I understand why people assume and why people are interested in this, because the Chiefs are known to bring guys back. I mean, they traded for McColl and won another Super Bowl, right? They brought Kareem back and then went to another Super Bowl. So I get it, but no, I don't think the Chiefs are legitimately considering Tyreek Hill at this point.
Coming up on the other side, we'll get your final thoughts on Sunday Night Football. We'll also play a little bit of a game. I'll tell you the rules coming up in just a bit. We got Nate Taylor. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison, a show that prides itself on getting it right.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5, The Fan.
Hey friends, it's noisy out there with information coming at us all day, every day. It's hard to know what to trust, and the world of wealth management is no exception. That's why UMB Private Wealth Management helps you tune out the noise and tune into what matters most. They'll create a financial plan based on your unique goals, so it's your voice that comes through loud and clear. Get financial clarity. Go to umb.com/privatewealth to schedule an appointment. That's umb.com/privatewealth.
This report is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Listen up, folks. I want to tell you guys about my new obsession. It's Daisy French Onion Dip. With football season here, it is the perfect dip for your chips, your wings. The delicious Daisy French Onion Dip and the Daisy Ranch Dip, they're game changers. They're delicious as a homemade dip, and they're made with real herbs and real spices and also ingredients that you'd find right there in your kitchen. So the next time you're having people come over to celebrate the start of the football season, you better make sure you have one thing, and I'm talking about that Daisy French Onion Dip. You can find it the next time you go to the grocery store.
I am the greatest fan in KU history.
I'm the greatest fan in K-State history.
I only wear crimson and blue.
I drive a purple car.
This will never be settled. That's why Kansas Lottery has the Rivalry Riches Scratch Ticket. You could win up to $50,000 instantly and great game day experiences through the Kansas Lottery Play-On app.
I have a Jayhawk tattooed on the arm of a Jayhawk that's tattooed on my arm.
All my children are named Willie.
See kslottery.com for details.
Hi, this is Toby Tobin along with Jason Goodenkoff from Lewisburg Ford in Lewisburg, Kansas. Hi, Jason.
Hello, Toby.
Let's talk about the buying experience at Lewisburg Ford.
It's the best anywhere. Just ask all our customers, Toby. It is hands down the best experience you can have buying a new car. We have the no-hassle Toby Tobin price that we've had for over 45 years now. Nobody else can say that. We've been saving Kansas City thousands and thousands of dollars for a lot of years.
I have been buying Ford cars and trucks from Lewisburg Ford for over 30 years, and I know personally this is the best place to buy a Ford car or truck. Great prices, but there's a whole lot more than that.
It doesn't just stop at price, Toby.
No.
There's other factors to this equation, and it's trade-in allowance, financing, and the experience of how knowledgeable the people are that you're dealing with. And we surpass everybody in all those areas. We always have. We always will. That's why calling us is important.
Do you have that new pickup?
Absolutely. And it's dynamite.
Okay. Lewisburg Ford is your best place to buy a Ford car or truck. What's your toll-free number?
816-444-2300.
Lewisburg Ford or lewisburgford.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Summer's almost over, but the heat is pressing on. If you've got battery trouble, stop by AutoZone for free battery testing. It may just need a charge, and we'll do that for free too. If you do need a battery, we've got options starting at just $89.99, and we'll recycle your old battery for free. Now that's a strong start. Don't miss the end of summer sale, now at AutoZone until September 22nd.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Sports fans, listen up. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer, and bladder leaks can be a side effect. That's why Depend is teaming up with the Prostate Cancer Foundation to encourage screening. Because health is a long game, and it's yours to win. Now here's the cool part. Through November, Depend is contributing up to $300,000 to prostate cancer research by donating 25 cents for every purchase of Depend shields, guards, and Real Fit products. Void in Mississippi. Learn more at Depend.com.
Car wreck? Get the money you deserve. Mike's got this.
Paid for client portrayal and endorsement. Choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
After my car wreck, there was a lot I didn't know.
I do know. If you've been hurt in a car wreck, call me. I've got this.
Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Finally, some good news on the Kansas side. Northbound 35 at Shawnee Mission Parkway. All lanes are back open. Still unwinding out of Lenexa from 87th Street, but stop-and-go traffic on the Missouri side. Northbound 435, heavy from Front Street to Parvin. You've got a stalled semi in the right lane. Amy Lauren, 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
Hey, it's Chris Jones from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, Nate Taylor of ESPN. I do want to get your football opinion because your football opinions are very important to me. But we need to play a game. As you know, on Wednesday, Patrick Mahomes turned 30 years old. You also know that on Wednesday, he opened up a steakhouse called 1587 Prime, he and Travis Kelce.
Mm-hmm.
I've done the honors of making you and your wife a menu, and I want you to guess how much this would be if you decided to take your wife out to 1587 Prime.
Okay.
We call it The Prime is Right. Rob, hit me! All right. You and your wife are going out to celebrate. You guys recently had your second child together. Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
So you know what? You want to have your first date night in a while. You got grandma coming over to watch the little ones, and you want to take your lovely wife out for a meal. You sit down. They got coat check. Take your coat. You order the crab cakes.
Okay. Holly does like crab cakes.
Who doesn't love crab cakes?
Yeah.
Crab cakes and football.
Excellent.
You know what? Since today's such a special day, you both are getting the Wagyu filet.
Oh, yes.
You're both getting the Wagyu filet. 8 ounces.
Oh, they taking my money, huh?
You guys got to get sides.
Of course.
You get mashed potatoes and you get the sauteed spinach.
Okay.
Now, she's not drinking, but you're going to get a drink. You get the Kingdom Come, a nice tequila-based drink.
Okay.
She gets a mocktail called Scout's Honor. And you got to get dessert. You've already been here.
Yeah,
you
I mean, we're going to be here for a couple hours, yeah.
You got to get some dessert. So you got the carrot cake. This is all what you've ordered. You have the crab cakes.
Yep.
You have 2 Wagyu fillets, mashed potatoes, sauteed spinach. You get a cocktail, the Kingdom Come. She gets a mocktail, the Scout's Honor. And you get the carrot cake to go. How much do you think your tab is at $15.87 prime?
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have not seen the full menu, so this is we are being fair to the game right now, okay? Comparative to other fine dining extravagant experiences in Kansas City, I'll go $275.
$307.
Oh,
that is before tax and tip.
Right. Yeah.
307.
307. Okay, it's kind of in the ballpark, Rob. I mean,
Rob didn't even look up during that game. Rob, like that big money talk y'all got over there.
Hey, babe, we might have to split one of them. One of them
you gotta put that on the company card.
Yeah, we're gonna split one of them Wagyus.
Your first question to Pat every week is, "Hey, how much do you want me to go to 1587 prime?" You played great, Pat. You got any gift cards?
Any gift cards? Yeah. Drop one off on me. Yeah.
Who's the house manager over there? Go and tell him to hook us up, man. Go and tell him we your boys from the drive. I don't think I've asked you. I did ask you this last week.
What's
Give
that?
me your Chiefs win if scenario. Give me your Giants win if scenario.
Man, Giants win if the offense goes to even more greater doomsday depths than we've seen. Like, if they lose, it'll probably be more on the offense, I would say, than the defense at this point. Chiefs win if, like we said, I don't know, defense actually get a turnover. Somebody support Mahomes. Anyone, right? Kelsey had a very good second half against the Chargers, but he was not good in the first half. We all know why. Hollywood Brown was also pretty good in the second half against the Chargers, but they didn't get the ball with a chance to win. We all know that. I don't know. I mean, I was asking myself this, like, who was the best supportive skill player for the Chiefs against the Eagles? Like, Tyquan Thornton, I guess, because he caught the long touchdown. Tyquan Thornton has been open.
I think he's their best receiver.
Well, he gets open. They should probably put him on the field more, Carrington.
100%.
So, okay, who can Patrick get support from 2 guys? Whether that's Pacheco, Thornton, whether that's Worthy, Kelsey. Like, the Chiefs will win if he gets just better support.
You know what? I know you're a very busy man. I'll get you out of here with this last thing. Coming up, we'll get to the hits at the top of the hour, but this feels like an appropriate way to end your appearance on today's show.
Hey guys, Russell here. Yes, the typical boring, yes, Russell, the robot Russell, the one you guys love to know. Real exciting. Yeah, I'm real exciting. But anyways, everybody has to have an alter ego, right? And I've been thinking about what my alter ego would be, and I think I have an alter ego. His name's Mr. Unlimited. You gotta be unlimited. You gotta have a thought process of being unlimited. So when people ask you, what you're thinking about or what you want to do in life or where you want to go, you got to be unlimited. Tell them, I'm unlimited. You know what I mean? So when they ask you certain questions like,
who brings you motivation, Russell?
Mr. Unlimited.
Who's your role model, Russell?
Unlimited.
Who's your go-to person for advice, Russell?
They think Pete Carroll, they think this person, think that person. Love you, Pete, but it's Mr. Unlimited. Tell them.
How dare you make me listen to that?
That was a good way to end your appearance. You did a great job. I really appreciate everything that you contributed to the show today, and I wanted to leave you with that. You know what? When you're at ESPN and they ask you, "Hey, I know you were on NFL Live, but can you also do First Take?" Tell them, "Of course you can, because you're Mr. Unlimited."
The audacity to A, record this, and then B, hit post. Hey guys,
who gives you motivation, Nate? Mr. Unlimited. That's who gives you motivation.
If I want
to
he's not a real person, man. He's not a real person. Why you make me listen to that again?
You know what? Right now, I would pay for a podcast between Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. Just I want you guys to sit down and talk about
all their experiences,
just everything.
Yeah. And they, and we've noticed this, or we learned this a lot in life, that we have more commonalities and differences. But yeah, just I'd listen, I'd tune in
for sure.
I mean, hey, I'd tune in. I would be thrilled if we got Jameis Winston on the field on Sunday, because anything can happen, kids. We're not gonna let that happen though. But yeah, guys, it's okay to record things. It's okay to have fun in your own house. You ain't got to hit post. I never needed to hear or see that.
Mr. Unlimited.
He posted that on purpose.
Multiple times. He's called himself that multiple times. Coming up, we'll get to the hits. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with CDOT. Tune in as Nate Taylor of ESPN joins the show in studio every Friday at 4 on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. The Drive, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Finally, some good news on the Kansas side. Northbound 35 at Shawnee Mission Parkway. All lanes are back open. Still unwinding out of Lenexa from 87th Street, but stop-and-go traffic on the Missouri side. Northbound 435, heavy from Front Street to Parvin. You've got a stalled semi in the right lane. Amy Lauren, 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
Don't you just love an NFL Sunday? You got your boys, your couch, your snacks, your favorite games, and FanDuel is sprinkling in something a little bit extra. This isn't just a normal NFL Sunday. It's your chance to place that perfect parlay or hit your favorite go-to player prop, and they're making it even better at FanDuel because they're bringing the bonuses. That's right. All customers can get a 50% profit boost on any NFL bet. So however you play your game, FanDuel's got your back when it comes to putting a little extra into your account, because that's what Sundays should feel like. Visit FanDuel.com. Use my promo code KFNZ to download the app and get in on the action right before kickoff. And remember, FanDuel is an official sports betting partner of 96.5 The Fan and also the NFL. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable profit boost. Tokens restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Art Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Get up with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit kansasgamblinghelp.com.
Need to sell your house in Kansas City but not sure where to start? Selling a home can feel overwhelming, especially if you're facing foreclosure, a divorce, an inherited property you don't want, or just need to move quickly. But you don't have to figure it out alone. Rex Buys KC is here to help. As a local home buyer, I understand the Kansas City market inside and out. My family and I live right here, so I know the neighborhoods, the trends, and the challenges homeowners face. That's why I take a consultative approach, helping you explore your options and find the best path forward. We buy houses in any condition, no need for repairs, no agent commissions, and no hidden fees. You'll receive a fair cash offer with a closing timeline that works for you. Whether that's in as little as 7 days or at your own pace. Just a simple, hassle-free process designed around your needs. If you're ready to talk through your options, call me today at 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Let's find the right solution for you. Rex Buys KC. Local, fair, and focused on you.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you could hear Old Spice Fiji Antiperspirant, what would it sound like? First, you'd start with Fiji Antiperspirant's amazing scent of palm trees. Add pure notes of fresh coconut and layer on 24/7 odor and sweat protection. You won't hear any dyes or parabens because with Fiji, you won't have any. So while your regular antiperspirant sounds like this, Old Spice Fiji sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
Brought to you by Duke's Mayonnaise.
This is the Duke's country song. It's a song about the best mayo. It has a yellow lid, and its full name is Duke's Mayonnaise. Get Duke's Mayo in store. It's got twang.
Hi, I'm Lacey, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. And yes, I'm actually a jeweler. I bring dream engagement rings to life every day in our jeweler's workshop. When I hand set your diamond into your ring, I think about creating a piece you'll wear for a lifetime. I pay attention to the smallest details and treat every ring with the same care and craftsmanship, no matter the size or price. Come check us out at your nearby store. Our engagement rings are made with love from our hands to yours, because a friend knows your love deserves the highest quality. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks is proud to offer an exclusive and extensive collection of some incredibly rare bourbons, whiskey, and tequilas. Plus, check out our barrel selections that are handcrafted by our team and bottled just for you. Supply is limited. Cheers!
Bud Light and Tanners are teaming up to make every college game day legendary. Every Saturday, rep your college team, catch every play, and enjoy $15 buckets. Only at Kansas area Tanners locations. Bud Light and Tanners. From the stands to the bar, your game day headquarters.
After 40 years and more than 8,000 five-star reviews, Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter is your go-to company for home service needs. Call Hamilton today for our $79 mainline drain cleaning special. The pros at Hamilton will inspect your drains with video camera technology to pinpoint exactly what is needed to clear those clogs and help prevent expensive drain repairs. The expert technicians at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to solve your problem the right way, the first time. Visit callhamilton.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
It's a Red Friday on 96.5 The Fan, and the other place is your sports watching headquarters this fall. Now with 5 great area locations: Shawnee, Olathe, downtown Overland Park, Mission, and Belton. Enjoy Red Friday specials all day.
Expect partly cloudy skies tonight with a low of 64.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Have you heard? The Staples Easy button is back with even more easy. Press it for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos. Staples. That was easy.
Robsite Ford. Non-commissioned staff, low prices, best trade-ins, and the biggest selection. Visit robsite.com.
When it comes to buying a car, simple wins. Robsite Ford has the inventory, the trade values, and the non-commissioned team that puts you first. No pressure, just 4.8 stars on Google for a reason. ROBSIGHT.com.
Listen to the Chiefs and Giants on Sunday night with pregame starting at 4. Kickoff at 7:20 with Mitch, Danon, and Kling. Right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. KFMZ FM and AM HD1 and HD2 Kansas City in Odyssey Sports Station.
Congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5. Thank you so much for listening. It is The Drive. You are listening on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. This is, in fact, the last show that we are going to have that is preempted by the Royals. So we only got 20 minutes in this hour. Let's get right to it. All right, let me give you some stats. These stats are very, very important. Since 1990, only 12% of teams that have started out the year 0-2 have made the playoffs. Only 3 of those teams have won the Super Bowl. Now, you might be thinking, why are you going back to 1990? That's not the same playoff structure. That is a fair point. It is the same percentage since the expansion of the playoffs. It is 12.2%. There have been 41 teams that have started 0-2. 5 of those teams have made the postseason. Now, I don't tell you this because I think you should be worried about the Chiefs, because just last season, 3 of those teams started 0-2 and made the postseason. One of those teams were the Ravens. They won their division. Another one of those teams were the Rams. They won their division. The other team was the Denver Broncos. They won double-digit games last year. So I have told you guys all week, and I will reiterate this point, I am not yet worried about the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, there are things that I don't like right now about the Chiefs. I wish they ran the football more effectively. I want them to get healthy. I want them to get more pressure with their defensive line. But I am not pressing the panic button with the Kansas City Chiefs. This game, to me, is the one in which you press the panic button. I went back through Patrick Mahomes' losses today. And the only loss to me that would be comparable to this one would be back in 2019, where the Chiefs lost 19-13 to the Indianapolis Colts. You guys remember Matt Ryan was starting for the Indianapolis Colts. It was a close game. The Chiefs got off of the field. Chris Jones said something to Matt Ryan. We don't know what he said, but they threw the flag. We've never actually was told what he said that warranted getting a flag. That extended the drive for the Colts. The Colts essentially ran the clock out, and they won the game. Maybe you remember that game. Maybe you don't. That was the last time that the Chiefs lost to a team like this. This is not a divisional game. Those things are kind of weird from time to time. Some weird random results happen in the divisional games. You know them. The stakes are a little bit higher. You can get upset in that scenario. This team, since they have been a dynasty, since they have been a championship organization, they don't lose this game very often. There's no shame in losing to the Chargers. I know a lot of you think the Chargers every year are overhyped. I get all of that. That's a team with a good coach, a good quarterback, good talent, good pieces on their offense. There is no shame in losing to a playoff team from last year at a neutral site by one possession. There's no shame in losing to a team in the Philadelphia Eagles that has won 18 of their last 19 games, and the one game they lost, their quarterback was injured in the first quarter. There's no shame in losing to either one of those teams. I mean, you would have loved to have won one of those, but you don't got to hang your head in shame. There is shame in losing to the Giants. The Giants are a bad football team. They are going to be a bad football team. Why don't we take a quick look at the Giants? Because if you look at the Giants and you look at what their schedule looks like, tell me if we are not talking about a team around Halloween that has maybe fired their head coach, probably changed their quarterback, and looks like a team that's going to be headed toward the top 5 pick. They already have 2 losses. They play Kansas City on Sunday. They are a 5.5, 6-point underdog for their home opener to the Chiefs. They play the Chargers next week. They play the Saints. The Saints are not a good football team. They play Philadelphia, at Denver, at Philly, home against San Francisco. That is all their games around leading up to Halloween. We could very easily be talking about a team that has won 1, maybe 2 games. Don't let one of those wins be you. They are not a good football team. They are not a well-coached football team. They are not an uber-talented football team. There is no reason for a team that has true championship expectations to lose in any scenario to this team, especially when your back is up against the wall. We'd be having a different conversation if the Chiefs were 2-0. They got the Ravens coming up next week. We'd be having trap game conversations. There is no trap game when you were 0-2. There is no trap game when you were one of the winless teams in the National Football League. So my belief is by any means necessary. I don't care how pretty it looks. I don't care how ugly it looks. I don't care the how. But what they need to do when they get back on that team flight back to Kansas City, they need to have a win in their pocket, Rob. I will not accept anything less from them. I'm not going to be overly critical on Monday if they win and it's not pretty. I'm not expecting them to go out there and beat this team 31-10. They haven't done that since Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift started dating, and they're engaged now. So I'm not expecting them to go out there, haymaker, knock them out, and you can go to bed early because the Chiefs have taken care of business. That's not how they get down, and I don't think their offense is good enough to do that right now. So this is probably going to be a 24-17 win. This is going to be a 17-13 knockout, drag-out kind of game because that's all this team knows right now. I don't care. You just have to figure out a way to score more points than them over a full 60 minutes. I really don't care the how.
So we see it being you got to win the exact same way. Like, no doubt, win the game. Me and you just see the style points thing a little differently, and that's fine. There's neither one of us are right or wrong. It's just a matter of opinion. But I feel like you need to make a statement that the Giants are clearly inferior. And if the Giants game Sunday goes the way, let's say, the Panthers game went last year. Remember that Panthers game? I believe it ended 30-27. It wasn't Butker. It was one of the other kickers they had last year. Schrader, I believe, hit a game-winning field goal.
It wasn't a good win. Remember, that's the one in the Kingdom where Patrick told him to turn the cameras off, and he was telling them that's not our standard.
He's like, that's not up to what we do. And I remember, speaking of the Kingdom, Andy Reid was like, hey, wins tough in the NFL. You take them where you can get them. I remember our text line that week was like, hey, wins in the NFL are tough. Take them where you can get them. They're still a one-loss team. Da-da-da-da. If it's that in New York against this Giants team, I will not come on here Monday and be like, hey, a win's a win. It counts the same. I will say things like, that is problematic and that is concerning because Russell Wilson, the Giants, and we will talk about this here in a minute, they hemorrhage yards to running backs in the NFL this year. They are making people you've never heard of look like Hall of Famers in the run game this year. You need to get your run game going. They gave up 40 points to Dallas. Dak Prescott probably gets unfairly crushed sometimes, by myself included. Patrick Mahomes is better than Dak Prescott. If Dak's dropping dots, Patrick Mahomes should be doing the same thing. And as much and as daunting as their D-line is in name, right now the Giants' D-line is a lot more name than game. I don't need you to go up there and put 60 on the board. It doesn't need to be like, can you believe what Alabama did to Vanderbilt in 2015? No, it doesn't need to be that. But this needs to be 31-17, 27-17, 24-10, a multiple score type of win, or maybe it's kind of like last night's Bills game where they kick a field goal late to push it from 1 score to 2 score, but you felt like the entire time, hey, one team is clearly superior. But if this game looks like last year's Panthers game, I'm not going to be like, hey, a win's a win, let's talk Ravens. I'm going to point out that's problematic. The team might be picking in the top 5, gave you everything you can handle after 2 bad losses in week 1 and 2.
The only reason I'll disagree with you is just the timing of it. That Carolina game was after the Buffalo game. It was essentially 2 months from their bye. Remember, the Chiefs were upset. They got an early bye, and it was sandwiched in between a couple of divisional games. I can see how you go out there and sleepwalk a little bit against Carolina. I could get it. I think the Giants should get your hyper-focus. Now, maybe this goes to your point. If the Chiefs are going in there back up against the wall, we're not falling to 0-3, their focus and attention should be sharp enough to be able to put down the New York Giants. We'll see what that looks like. Now, I will give myself a little bit of a caveat because I can't just have 4 hours of telling you, oh, they won. I can't do that. I got to give you something. There's no reason why the Chiefs shouldn't be able to run the football effectively on Sunday. Not when you look at who the Giants have played so far this season and the running backs that have had good days against them. Just last week against the Dallas Cowboys, Javonte Williams ran for 80-plus yards against this Giants team. He had 18 carries for 97 yards and a touchdown. So Javonte Williams, no one considers him to be a top 15, top 20. No one considers him to be one of those kind of backs. He had a good day. The Cowboys ran it 28 times for 135 yards and 2 touchdowns. They ran the football very successfully against this Giants team. If you go to the Washington Commanders, the Commanders did something very similar. They ran the ball 32 times for 220 yards and 2 touchdowns against this team. This offense needs to get its run game jump-started. I know that we might disagree on whose fault it is. Maybe you think it's Isaiah Pacheco. Maybe you think it's Matt Nagy. Maybe you think it's the offensive line. Honestly, for this game, I don't care. I don't care whose fault we think that it is. But what I do know is there's no reason why Ja'Cory Cross-Merritt and Javonte Williams should be allowed to have very productive days against this defense. And then we're talking about Isaiah Pacheco having 9 carries for 17 yards. They have not shown me, with all the names they got up front, and they got guys that we've heard of before, guys that I'm sure have very good overalls on Madden, guys that you remember playing college football. They have not shown you an ability to stop the run. You can't control the line of scrimmage against this team. The Commanders did it. The Cowboys did it. I don't know why we shouldn't expect Kansas City to be able to control the line of scrimmage against this team. So this goes in line with my by any means necessary. The Giants have the third worst rush defense in the National Football League. They're giving up on average around 178 yards per game on the ground. They're giving up 6 yards a carry. Last week, the Chiefs ran the ball 19 times for 55 yards from their running backs. That's Philadelphia's defense. That's Philadelphia's D-line. That's not what the Giants have shown so far. And I think by having that balance and also having Xavier Worthy back, potentially having Jalen Royals for this matchup, you should see a more improved version of the Chiefs offense. At least that's my hope.
I think this is where me and you are seeing it very similar and why I think style points matter. I am going into Sunday's game anticipating the Chiefs are going to have success running the ball. Are they going to look like the Bills last night? Probably not, but they are going to be successful at running the football because the Giants cannot stop a nosebleed. They can't. They have not been able to do it all year. So, in my mind, you're playing an inferior opponent. Your back's against the wall. You are in must-win mode, despite what the quarterback refused to answer that question with us, basically, kind of hemmed and hawed. And you have a run game that I believe should be back and should be viable against a terrible rush defense. There is no excuse to me why you shouldn't take care of business in New York. I got told all last season by Chiefs fans when the games were close, hey, it doesn't matter as long as they're winning. This is a business trip where you have to reassert yourself in the NFL. I was watching SportsCenter a minute ago. They're talking about the Bills, and they pulled up their schedule and said, hey, when the Bills took their first loss, here are the tough ones on the schedule. They're going to do those sorts of things with other teams in the NFL. It's no longer the Chiefs are that team. You have a chance to get back into the zeitgeist by dominating the Giants, and every stat, every mental, everything points to the Chiefs should go out there and have a nice, comfortable, maybe you can go to bed early on a Sunday night type of night up in New York. But if it's, like I said, 27-26, even if they run the ball successfully, I'm not going to be happy come Monday.
I do want to talk a little bit of Russell Wilson, not Mr. Unlimited. We'll talk about Russell Wilson. Heading into this matchup, I have absolutely no clue what kind of quarterback play the Giants can expect. In week 1, Russell Wilson completed 46% of his passes. He averaged 4.5 yards per attempt, which is dreadful. He didn't throw a touchdown. They scored 6 points, and they were having conversations about if he was going to be replaced after one game. Maybe that's New York City. I don't care. When you got Jameis Winston, who's a capable backup, and you also spent a first-round pick, and you throw for 4.5 yards per attempt, your job could potentially be on the line. Last week, it's like he heard that, and it was a completely different version of Russell Wilson. He threw for 450 yards. He threw for 11 yards an attempt through 3 touchdowns. Now, this is the caveat, and this is where I think Russell Wilson will continue to be Russell Wilson. For as well as he played, he still made the critical mistake in overtime that cost them the game. You cannot make that throw in the middle of the field. You have to anticipate that safety is going to be there. Russell didn't. He threw an interception. That was a difference in the game. Cowboys getting a field goal range. They got the best field goal kicker right now in the National Football League. That's all she wrote, and they won that game. So I'm going into this with a little bit of I have no clue what to expect from Russell Wilson. But if I do know this about Russ and what we've seen with him, and now the Chiefs have seen Patrick Mahomes has played against every version of Russell Wilson. He played against him on Sunday night when he was with the Seattle Seahawks. He played against him when he was in Denver. He played him last year on Christmas, and now you're playing him with the New York Giants. This defense, this team, they have seen every version of Russell Wilson. He will give you a couple of opportunities. And what could help your point, Rob, about this potentially being a blowout, what could really jumpstart and spark this offense is the defense creating their first turnover of the season and creating short fields for the offense. This offense needs a little bit of a boost. They need a handicap. They need just a little bit of extra something. And that something can come from the defense. That something can come from you forcing a turnover, creating an interception, getting it in a scoring range. It could start from a big special teams play. Now with the kickoff rules, you take a big kickoff and now you start your drive at the 50-yard line. 2 first downs, it puts you in field goal range. This defense hasn't really helped the offense in terms of just decreasing the learning curve, so to speak. So a big turnover, a big play, a big shift in momentum that could create a short field for the offense could really help them lay that heavyweight punch that we're talking about.
So I don't want to take the conversation away from Russell Wilson too much, but that spark, that big play, that, hey, they can make that the thing that gets the offense going, you're saying needs to be a turnover, maybe a scoop and score, points from the defense, a big special teams play. I don't think they need, special teams or defense to make that play. I think, Tyreek Hill on the brain from the last segment with Nate. Xavier Worthy makes those things happen. I know he was limited in practice today, but Nate Taylor earlier in the show said he expects him to play. He has played 3 snaps this season, but all offseason the talk was about being more explosive. How do you do that? You have more explosive players. Who's their most explosive offensive weapon? It's Xavier Worthy. It's the guy that ran the fastest 40 at the combine, a guy who a lot of you, and myself included, thought could go from a 680-yard guy last year to maybe an 850 to 950-yard guy this year. If he is that guy, if he is this difference maker, if he is a spark in this offense that keeps them from being just dull, then his return should do a lot of those things you're talking about and make life easier for the offense. It shouldn't be dink, dunk, 3 yards, cloud of dust anymore on Sunday. You now have a guy who can take the top off the defense. You have a guy who you throw a slant to, and he is a threat to score, not just get the 6 yards. Like, that spark you're talking about to make life easier for the offense, I don't think the defense needs to do that. I don't think special teams needs to do that. I think Xavier Worthy's injection into the offense should do those things just by him arriving at all.
I want to play this for you as the final piece of audio that we play for this week. I think Josh Allen is phenomenal. I think he's fantastic. I think he's the second best quarterback in the league. But what makes me dislike Josh Allen is really the commentary that surrounds Josh Allen. Here was the talk that they were having earlier today on Get Up about Josh Allen.
I'm watching the game last night. I'm thinking, I've been watching this sport 50 years. And I'm just a fan. I'm just a reporter, whatever the case is. No one has ever played that position better than Josh Allen plays it. He's not the greatest player ever. No, you tell me who has played that position better than he plays it.
Lamar Jackson and Justin Herbert right now is cooking. What are we talking about, Greeny? It's so early.
He's better than them. I'm saying you can't be better than Josh Allen is. Josh Allen does everything. His command of what he's doing in the game right now is ridiculous. He just hasn't won anything. If he had won anything, we'd be talking about him with literally the best quarterbacks that ever played.
If he had won anything, then we talk about him among the greats. Well, you know what separates him from the greats? It's that he hasn't won anything. This is what I don't like about Josh Allen. I cannot think of a player in American professional sports that the media seems so hell-bent on crowning despite not having any of the accolades that you would need to be crowned. This would be like right now if there was a push in the NBA to consider Anthony Edwards the best player in the league. Anthony Edwards is incredible. He is a phenomenal basketball player. He's not the best basketball player in the world. That's what they're doing right now with Josh Allen. No one has ever played the position better than Josh Allen? What are we talking about? It's been played better by his counterparts in the AFC. Mahomes has played the position better than he has. Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson has played the position better than he is. What are we talking about? I don't know why we got to do this. I don't know why we have to discuss Josh Allen in this way. He's really good. He really is good. It's lost on me when they start this with him. We've never seen the position played better. Just didn't see Tom Brady play it. We just never saw Aaron Rodgers in those early Packer years. They've been watching football for 50 years. You saw Joe Montana. Just never seen anybody play it better than Josh Allen. Nuts to me. I'm picking the Chiefs. I don't have a score prediction. Just win. Until then, I'll let Daniel Craig take you home.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a